Yo, people, I'm your host, Major, and I'm with my brother Ace, and we are back for our first game week review. Ace, what you telling me, bro? How you feeling?
Hey man, I'm feeling good, my guy, man. I guess first weekend of the Premier League back, so yeah, it was just nice, catching up with the footy, have a nice relaxing weekend, not have to try force things to do. You got something that's gonna take up a chunkable amount of time. So yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed that, man. It's good to be back.
I hear you, bro. I hear
Yeah,
you.
man.
Yeah, same, man. Like, again, there's nothing like the Prem, and yeah, man. Like, obviously, you know how much I love United, but even just watching all the other games, and yeah, man,
Mm,
it's brilliant, brilliant to have football back. But yeah, guys, today we have got an agenda for you. And obviously, I think the right place to start is with the most recent match this weekend, arguably the biggest match this weekend, and that is Manchester City versus Chelsea. Now, of course, I watched it, bro. But firstly, I want to
yeah.
know what were your initial thoughts after the conclusion of the match? What were you
Bro,
thinking?
bro, there's so much. Like we can start with the game. We can start with
Mm-hmm.
what happened before the game, with the whole Sterling situation. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess I don't know where do you wanna go into it and then circle back to that, or do you wanna start with
Yeah,
that
I'll
first?
say initially let's break down the game.
All
Let's
right,
break
cool.
down the game. What did you
All right,
think of the
cool.
game?
Yeah, again, I feel like kind of my takeaway in general is just like I think Chelsea starting 11 is great on paper. Same way I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this game was probably great on paper because
Mm-hmm.
because again, it's similar to when Arsenal play City, where when you
Mm-hmm.
have two possession based teams, it's not always
Mm-hmm.
the most interesting, like exciting match. Like
Yeah.
overall, I feel like Chelsea actually did quite well. Like I feel like they did well, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe something to talk about whether they should have done better. The fact that you think that City are so far behind when it comes to their
Mm.
kind of prep for the season, that should they have
Preseason,
taken
yeah.
much more advantage of that?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a good point. But then similar to last season, the big issue with Chelsea, where everyone has been caught up with Arsenal need a new striker, Chelsea need a new striker, Chelsea need a striker, which is that was like the main thing people couldn't stop talking about last year. And now we've got to the end, almost end the window, and it's not guaranteed that they're definitely going to get one. So we'll see
Mm.
whether they get Osimhen over the line, right? But yeah, overall they
Yeah.
made good chances, but they're not clinical enough in front of goal. Like
Yeah.
kind of like we were saying going into the game where you have Nkunku, who I don't think he's a left winger. You're playing him left wing to try to fit him in that team. There's so
Mm.
many players that want to operate at their best positions are centrally. And now
Mm.
how Maresca actually gets that all to work is what's going to
Mm-hmm.
make or break him, right? So I think that was the kind of my initial thoughts. I think Chelsea probably did better than maybe a lot of people would have thought they would have, but then there's also a question of should they have done better. I think
Mm-hmm.
City still look a bit rusty, but again, you give Erling
Mm.
Haaland a chance, he's gonna
Mm.
put it away in it. Like I think I saw something earlier that was like 91 goals in
Yeah.
100 games for City or something. Like
Crazy.
ridiculous
Absolutely
stuff, man.
crazy. Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous stuff, man. So yeah, if we're talking as a goal scorer, yeah, he has to be up there as one of the greatest already. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's wild with it, man, in front of goal. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that. Oh, another initial thought was Savio. Like I don't know what's happening because I think he came up. I don't know where how
Yeah.
bad the injury kind of is looking, but yeah, I've seen
Mm-hmm.
enough to know that yeah, he's gonna be a problem because
Mm-hmm.
Doku was struggling on that right hand side, and they said yeah, swap over. He went there, and Cucurella, yeah, it wasn't pretty after that. So I think those are kind of like my initial kind of thoughts. We get into a bit
Mm-hmm.
more, but yeah, what
Mm-hmm.
were you saying, bro?
Yeah, bro. I think I'm very similar to you. I think, yeah, it's clear that I think Chelsea are lacking like the clinical edge. So
Mm,
I think they've got a lot of good players and they've got a lot of good pieces. But I think, yeah, clearly they definitely do need like that focal point up top. And if you look at Chelsea, obviously you look at strikers like Drogba, you look at oh, his name just slipped out of my head. Costa.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
Costa. Yeah, you look at Costa and you look at like how those teams functioned and how effective they were. And yeah, I feel like Chelsea definitely do need the focal point. Um, yeah, I think City, they weren't like dazzling.
Mm,
Like they still look like they're getting up to speed with things, but yeah, you saw the quality there. I think that Haaland finish was brilliant. Even how he just just power, like he strengthened power to just get him in the
yeah.
position, and then yeah, the dink, and it was yeah. That's Haaland.
Bro,
That's what Haaland gets.
it had to be Cucurella as well that he had to move aside for the goal.
Yeah.
It really was, man, that was gonna be the case. Because yeah, Haaland is not the type of you want to be trying to give him any extra motivation against your team. So well done,
100%, bro.
and we'll see how that works out for him over the course of the season. So Haaland is
Be
really
interesting.
So, but no, I agree. Once he got into that position, he was always going to score that. Like he's not the striker to miss those. That's his bread and butter. But yeah, sorry, but go on. I think I caught you. What else were you gonna say?
But yeah, no, I think City, they definitely look like they're still trying to get into the groove of things. Like they're still picking up speed. Obviously, Foden came on at half time, and like I think they're still like easing their way in. But yeah, like I think they've got so much quality that it just takes a few moments for them to secure the 3 points. Like, and I think in those decisive moments, when you've got someone like Erling Haaland, then it's always going to be problematic for the opposition. So I feel like I don't honestly feel like we learned that much new about Chelsea and City. I feel like what we thought about both of them is still what we pretty much think. Like, I feel we look at City and we're like, they've got great quality. They're probably going to be ready to go again. They're probably not quite up to speed yet, but it looks like, it's going to be the same old City. And we look at Chelsea and we're like, yep, they've got quality here and there. They've got good pieces, but it's still not like knitted all together, and they definitely do need a striker. And so I feel like it was one of those matches where you finished watching it and you're just like, I don't think I learned that much. Like, I don't think I learned that much.
Well, one thing I would say I learned. I didn't learn it because again, it was his actual after. It's actually crazy that after a year, it was his first professional debut for Chelsea. But Lavia's a baller, man. Like, Lavia in that midfield. That's why Enzo came back and they gave him captaincy. That one is we're gonna see now because it's even looking a bit forced. Where he probably I don't think he had a great game at all. Probably should have came off, but no, he's captain now. So I don't know if that's gonna now be a little bit of politics that Maresca now has to deal with. Like how does he? Oh, vice captaincy, but vice captaincy, but even with so it just adds that much more pressure in terms of him actually staying on the pitch. Where I think he definitely should have been booked. So now how they actually make that midfield work with Enzo, Palmer, Caicedo, Lavia, like it's going to be very interesting in it. But like you said, we already kind of thought this going into this game, and that's going to be, I guess, what Maresca gets paid for, how he actually fits these pieces together. Because it was only the first game, but I don't know about Ikuka as a left winger as well. I don't know how that's going to work over whether that's actually something to persist with, or see now does someone have to get sacrificed in that midfield where it's kind of like England. You can have all the great players, but if it doesn't make sense on paper, like if it doesn't actually make sense in reality, then they're just names at the end of the day. Like the manager's job is actually to make sure that they all blend together, it all actually works. So boy, we'll see how Maresca deals with that. So no, I think it was definitely kind of like I said, good game on paper. It was probably out of all the games like throughout the weekend, other than the name, it probably wasn't the most exciting match to watch. I'll definitely say that.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. As regards to De Bruyne, I wanted to quickly talk about him. What did you think of his performance? Because I think a lot has been said regarding De Bruyne. Obviously, he was linked with a move during the summer. He's still here. How do you think he looked? How do you think he performed?
I think he was okay. Like I don't think he was like I don't think it was like a standout performance where I'm like those the brain performances were like this guy's ridiculous. It was just more of like because even going into the game without Rodri, I would have actually thought that Chelsea with their midfield actually maybe would have like taken more advantage of the lack of the Rodri. But again, it seemed to be fair. I think again I don't have the stats in front of me. I know definitely throughout the first half, Chelsea had definitely had more possession than City, which you're not really used to seeing City. That's like concede more possession to their opponent. So I'll give them that. So I don't think he probably was as influential as we know De Bruyne can be, is what I would say. Like I mean, he had like a really good chance just outside the box that he put wide. But I'm trying to think, and in general, I think Chelsea also being like super aggressive on him as well. Because again, I guess they knew that we want to keep him as quiet as possible, and I think they actually did succeed with that overall. Like throughout the course of the game, I would say. I don't think it was like a great standout performance. I think it was an okay performance from De Bruyne, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about that.
I feel like there's definitely definitely more levels that he can get to. Like we've seen what De Bruyne's capable of over the years. But yeah, I feel like he's probably someone that's gonna like show his quality throughout the season. Like you're gonna see like what it is that he's capable of at different points of the season. But yeah, as of now, yeah, I think he's probably still growing into, just getting game time. And yeah, like it looks like, yeah, it's going to be also interesting to see. Like obviously Foden had a great breakout season last season, and it's going to be interesting to see how much minutes De Bruyne gets throughout the campaign, like how Pep decides to manage him, and also like how central Foden's going to be this season, like position wise. I feel like, yeah, I'm really curious to see like how Pep decides to juggle all of that. But yeah, De Bruyne, yeah, I think I agree with a lot of what you said. So yeah. Were there any, obviously I know you've mentioned a couple, but were there any other standout performances that you wanna make note of?
I have to, man, what's it called? Give Rico Lewis his flowers, man. Like, I mean, he had a very good game as well. Like we said, I think Walker's on the way down, so we're definitely seeing like the baton being like passed on this season because I think he's just like a technically really good footballer, and I think he definitely shone again.
Yeah.
Against Nkunku left wing, we'll see how he does like defensively when he's like against like a real threat throughout the whole game. I think Neto came on. I think he was quite quiet as well. I don't think he really showed too much. But again, you give him first game in it, so we'll give him a bit more time. But yeah, I'll say definitely Rico Lewis is definitely one. Kovacic, that goal too was nasty. Like just he did take out the game. He took out Caicedo and took out Enzo. 200 million pivot and just removed them out the game and did what? I'm sure Chelsea fans saw him lining up to shoot and said they were safe, not knowing that not this time. Because this guy loves that position to then put in the keeper's hands. So it was a really good finish by him. So I think he played really well in that midfield. Definitely his flowers. Like I said earlier, Savio, when he moved over to the right, he started shining. So I've definitely seen enough from him to say that he's going to be a real threat this season. Then I'm trying to think, Chelsea-wise, like I said, Lavia, he did really well. He shone. And that's probably the kind of players that stood out for me. I don't know, what about you? Who do you think was that the kind of key men in your eyes?
Agree with you with, pretty much all of your analysis. I felt like Lavia, again, I feel like you can see there's a lot of potential there. And obviously, Chelsea bought him, and I think a lot of the fans were very excited. And then, unfortunately, he suffered a lot of injury problems in his first season. But like hopefully he can stay fit because obviously we don't wish injury on no players. And like it will be interesting to see how he performs throughout the season. But he looks like someone with great potential. So I feel like I definitely agree with that. I think it's interesting to see the discussion around Cole Palmer, just even not just in this game, but going into this season, because obviously off the back of last season, we saw what he did, like incredible numbers, incredible breakthrough campaign. And obviously now he's going into this season as the guy. Like, do you get me? Like, we know who Cole Palmer is. Like, defenses are wary of Cole Palmer. And it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. I feel like today, like, I've definitely seen him like perform much better. I don't think necessarily today was like one of his top games. Like you saw him trying to get on the ball and trying to do things. But what are your thoughts on Cole Palmer's performance and how do you think he's going to fare for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I feel like Cole Palmer's future is really it's probably heavily tied with Enzo Maresca's future. Where if he's able to like make this Chelsea team blend with the players they have, I think Cole Palmer then has another good season. But I think if he struggles, and I think it's probably going to be even harder for Cole Palmer this year than it was last year. Where as much as they they got on that punch, he deserved the criticism that he did get. But one thing that you can say that he did is that he definitely gave Palmer a platform to shine. So, but now in this system, it's a lot slower. Now that teams are looking out for Palmer and they know that, he's probably one of their key threats. Now that they don't have as many, obviously, touch wood for Chelsea, like going into the season, they don't have like the injury kind of issues they had last year, where again, it's a bit easier to be the key man when like you're one of the only key men on the pitch. But now when you're one of the key men as well, there's also that balancing act of you also can't just try and run it yourself, because Cuckoo can also tell you, bro, basketball. So I think that one is going to be, so again, it kind of depends on whether Maresca can actually get this system to work and Chelsea to for the goals to be flowing. If he can do that, then I think, he'll do well. But if Maresca struggles, I think Palmer's probably going to struggle much more than he did last year. That's kind of like my initial thought going into the season, because, I always say it, man. Like, when people want to get carried away after the first season and start putting players in world-class conversation, like, you have to do that season after season after season. Because one thing when you're a surprise factor or the new manager bounce, a new player bounce, but now when teams with their teams of analysts looking at how do we win this game, who is the person we need to stop, and they're identifying you as the guy that we need to put resources to stop. When you still shine with that pressure, then you can start talking about their name. But when it's like the first year, people just, So again with Palmer, man, I think this year's going to be massive for him, whether he's going to kick on and have a similar season, or maybe like the hype around him will come down to like a more reasonable level where you see he's a very good player with a lot of potential, but he's not where people are putting him. Like, so that's my kind of initial thoughts with Palmer.
Okay, that's really interesting. Really interesting.
I don't know if you agree or disagree with any of that.
I think we've discussed Cole Palmer before, and I rate him incredibly highly. And a lot of people spoke about his penalties last season, etc., his stats. But I think putting aside all of that, like, he's clearly a very great footballer. Like, he's a quality footballer. Like, you can see his ability on the ball. Like, he passes the so-called eye test. Like,
does.
So like, really good footballer, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he develops this season. I think that it's going to be interesting to see positionally also where he starts, because I think even last season he tended to drift a lot, and he probably will continue to do that. But is Maresca going to decide to play him as like an out and out 10, like, for the majority of the season? With, obviously, you've got Neto there as well, you've got Madueke, Nkunku, as you said, like, even Jackson sometimes, like, he can drift. So it's going to be interesting to see like where Maresca decides to play him, like, throughout the season. But I feel like, again, like, obviously he needs to back up what he did last season, not necessarily with the same numbers. Like, I don't think he needs to necessarily get those same numbers, but obviously the level of performance, like, he would want to continue it, and he would want to show that, you know what, this wasn't like one excellent breakthrough campaign. Like, this is something that's sustainable. Like, I am a quality player. And like, we've seen what he can do. You saw his goal in the Euros final. Like, you saw him come on and you saw him have an impact on games. So I think Cole Palmer is going to be really interesting to see how he performs. Someone that I rate quite highly. But new manager, more players, defenses of other teams, they're now accustomed to you. They might not still be able to do anything to stop you, but you don't necessarily have the surprise factor that you had initially. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he performs from there. But overall, I think like I said, I think City didn't really show me that much new. I think Chelsea didn't really show me that much new. I think we're probably gonna have to see a few more games before, like, and obviously wait for the transfer window to close before we can actually make some more solid conclusions. But City, starting off the title defense, 2-0 win. I'm sure Pep will be very happy. On paper, you're looking at Stamford Bridge and you're thinking that potentially might be a difficult game. Last season, what was it, 4-4 that they drew there? So like, I'm sure he'll be happy to just, take that game off the list and say, cool, we move. And I think next is Ipswich. So like, I'm sure they're going to try and start the season very strongly. And they've got off to the perfect start. So
Ipswich, Haaland, nasty combination. We'll talk about them though.
Hey, McKenna. Hey, McKenna. Hey, man. Hey, cool.
Oh, mate.
But bro, I think it's only right that we now move on to your team, since we spoke about City and obviously 2 title races in a row. Arteta's going again, obviously trying to win the league this season. And you got off to a nice start, 2-0 win. What were your thoughts on the performance?
I would definitely say that it was definitely I think we did enough to get the job done over the course of the game. Definitely deserve the win. But I would definitely say that we were also quite sloppy, which I'm not used to seeing us. Like I feel like we gave Wolves a lot more opportunities than I've seen us kind of give teams over the course of last season. So I think that I'll probably put that down to first game of the season. We kind of learned from the past where you can start the season on fire, but it doesn't matter if you don't end it on fire. So it's kind of better to kind of start a bit slower, make sure you're still picking up the points, and then you just kind of raise the intensity as you kind of go ahead. But again, this is why, like, as much as like I loved Ramsdale, like one thing I'll say about Raya is that it's nice having a keeper that isn't a main character, where he just does his job and then he pulls off the save that he did say, like he pulled off in that game, which was massive. Because 1-0 at that point. And that 1-1, it's a different game now. There's a lot more pressure on us. So that save was amazing. And I was like, oh yeah, Ryan didn't go. But he just does his job, passes the ball on, and it kind of makes you think of why sometimes having a keeper who isn't the main character sometimes actually is a good thing. Where it's like there's no kind of like talk on their name. They just do their job, and the like how like I'm trying to phrase it like in terms of the. You don't want to be talking about your keeper, basically. Like, you want to just, like, do his job and then give him kudos when he deserves kudos. So, yeah, definitely have to big up Raya for that save. That was massive for us. And I'll definitely say, other than that, I have to then also big up my boy Saka because, yeah, again, these are the kind of things I want more from Saka that I think he showed in this game, but I want more and more of. Because I think, for example, let's say in the Champions game last year when we played Bayern, one of the things that we were missing massively was that player that even if no one else is really doing anything, they just get the ball and they make a goal. They score. They sign out of nothing. Like those are the players I think actually win you like the big trophies and the big competitions. I think Saka, that was like an indication of him starting to bring that more into his game where like the assist out of nowhere, beautiful ball, put it on top of Havertz's head, great start to the game. And then the second goal as well, where again, we were really sloppy at that point. Wolves are coming back into it. If they score the next goal, it might now be, we're not starting off the season with the 3 points that we need. But Saka gets the ball, he says, yeah, I'm done with this. Let me end the game. And he ended it. So, Saka definitely, that was an amazing strike, amazing performance from him. Yeah, like I said, Havertz again, like just doing his job. It's kind of like we spoke about going into the season where I said he's now playing at a level where the conversation is now shifted to now Martinelli. It's like there's now a lot more pressure on him now that you now need to be the guy that shows that you deserve to keep your spot in the team because, he's making it look like Saka, Havertz, and now it's you that you're like the weakest link in that front three. And I actually didn't think he had like a really bad game. He could have probably walked away with 2 assists in that game too. But yeah, he definitely needs to like lock in a bit more is what I'd say. But overall, like not a great performance, but I think we did enough to get the win, and it was just like a comfortable start to the season where we just kind of kick on from here. I expect us to get better and perform better moving forward from here. So I think that's like my kind of initial take. But yeah, what was your take watching it from the outside?
Yeah, I think I actually just want to start off with talking about Saka, because I feel like we're getting to the point now where like he's just proven how reliable he is as regards to he's gonna put up his numbers, he's gonna get his goals, he's gonna get his assists, and I feel like what you said regarding him like being the guy to step up in those decisive moments where you need something out of nowhere. I feel like that's something that he's working on and he's building. Of course, even last season, I feel like there was times where he definitely did do that. Like even talking about the Bayern Munich match in the first leg, that was a great finish. And and I think people were much more critical in the second leg when they were like, okay, Saka, it's not enough just to do it in the first leg. We also need you to perform when, everything's on the line. And I think, it's something that he's working on. Like he is putting in performances. Obviously, you've seen what he's also done for England as well. So, I think he's continuing to build his resume. And I think that cut in onto his left, like he's really starting to perfect that. Like, letting Saka onto his left is getting dangerous. Like,
I know what I love about that too. When a player does, because Saka actually can take you on the outside as well.
Yeah.
So when you try to stop that by force, you say, okay. So you also don't need to be one-dimensional too, where everyone knows, like Anthony, that you only have the left-hand side. That's when it's a problem when it's a cover. So I agree with that, man. That was an amazing strike.
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about Saka, because again, when he comes in onto his left, he might cross it like he did in the first half. Do you get me? And deliver a great cross for someone like Havertz to get his head onto, or he might cut in, he might have the shot, he might play the pass, he might go back out on his right. Like, and I think, yeah, the versatility as regards to how he's approaching those positions and like his decision making when he's getting into the final third, I think it's definitely, it's definitely something that's been improving season upon season. And yeah, man, like Saka, yeah, I feel like he's a great talent. And yeah, like he's really been helping to carry Arsenal, like from the times where, things weren't so good
Yep.
to, yeah, up until now where, you're challenging for league titles. So yeah, like I wanted to give a special shout out to Saka.
Yeah, and
I felt like,
sometimes too, I
go
guess
on,
the
bro.
last word on Saka too. I feel like it's also,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we also needed, because something I was thinking of is like, I guess we'll get to like United and Manu as well. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like as much like Manu is definitely like a massive talent as well. But I think it's
Mm-hmm.
also different when you bring through a talent that's gonna also get you goals and like get you GA. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's also too where it's like even when you are in depth, you have someone that can out of nothing get you a win,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Mm-hmm.
massive. So even the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we brought for a talent like Saka in the position he's in is also
Mm-hmm.
critical to like helping us to transition from where we were to where we are now. So yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
definitely we definitely got very lucky with that one. We needed that one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
needed that one. Yeah.
Is that remind me even about what you said about Maney, because I actually want to talk a little bit
All right,
about
cool.
that and his best position a little bit later on. But yeah, like I think, yeah, Saka, yeah, I think he's just proven what a quality player he is, and yeah, like it's always great when you have players like that have come from your academy. Like, yeah, I feel like that's something that's always great. That's what you want to see, and yeah, like I think overall, Arsenal, I think it was a very like, just get the job done performance. Like I think there was moments where like, you saw like certain bright phases of play, but it was like, and Wolves did grow into the game in places here or there. But I think overall, I don't think Arsenal were really under that much threat. I feel like you did seem quite comfortable. And yeah, I feel like the players know that they can't afford to be dropping like points. They knew that, we need to get the job done. Like, and yeah, it looks like Arsenal are ready to go again. Havertz. Let's
Yep,
talk
my guy.
about Kai. Let's talk about Kai. What did you think
Mm.
about his performance specifically?
Yeah, I think it was a very good performance. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think it was a very. I feel like initially when he first trained, we were giving him pity claps. Whereas like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well done. Like you made that 5 yard pass, and we
Mm-hmm.
thought you weren't gonna do it. But like I
Mm-hmm.
think as he's got
I
more
said, come
confidence,
take the penalty. Come take the penalty.
bro,
Come take the penalty.
come.
Yeah. Come take the
Don't miss
penalty.
it though. If you miss it long, if you miss it, it's very very long. Don't miss it. so
Damn.
so I think we did a lot of that at the beginning, but I think now he's actually being one of our like best performers in most of our games, where he's really like linking up the attack really well, where he's getting loads of touches on the ball, which is another kind of issue people had with him initially, where he was a ghost, where you could tell you, I don't know if you, again, he's like it's kind of like the Scott McTominay thing, where there's certain players that they're kind of hard profiles to kind of pinpoint. So like I feel like those kind of players, people are like especially harsh on them, and I feel like Havertz is one of those where no one knows exactly what is his best position. Like you hear like managers praise him, then you see fans like say this guy's rubbish. So it's like which one is actually the truth? So again, probably somewhere in the middle. But yeah, no. So yeah, great performance, great header. I always say this guy is too tall for how poor he is in the air sometimes. He gets his head on a lot of actual crosses, but he's so bad at directing them. So it was nice to see him just dunk that one like he should. It was a comfortable chance for him. But yeah, no, honestly, I don't really know what else to add. It's just a great performance. Hopefully, he's kind of continued his form that he started 2024. So hopefully, he continues it. And now he's told Jesus, if you want this position back, you're gonna have to do something special because he's not trying to give it up. So fair play to him, man. Like again, it shows with footballers, confidence is massive. People can be calling a player rubbish and just doing too much. But sometimes you just put them in the right environment and they might shine. And that's what he's doing right now. He's shining in it. So yeah, big up to Havertz. Like long may it continue. My thoughts.
Nah, I think It's really interesting, obviously, to see the discourse around Havertz, because obviously I think you've got a section of the Arsenal fan base who are highly critical of him. You've got a section of the Arsenal fan base which are highly supportive of him, and yeah, you can see that obviously his confidence is definitely much higher. Like, and I think he is definitely one of those players where, like, he needs his confidence to be high, like, because that has such a big impact on his performances. Like, so when he's feeling good about himself, then you see that reflected on the pitch. And yeah, I think, yeah, good finish for the first goal. I think he should have done better with another chance.
Yeah, that shot was shocking. That's what I said. Like, Martin should have picked up an assist. He squared it to him, and you just open up his body and just put it into the stand. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah, that was. But again, he has that in him. That's why, like, he's one of those. When he goes 1v1, I'm not like, yeah, this is a goal. I'm thinking, who? Havertz, please, on target. Test the keeper. Test the keeper, please. So yeah, again, that's what he brings in it. So you know his strengths and weaknesses. That's why we need our wingers like the Sakas and Martinelli to be the more clinical players, and Havertz is there to link up the game. And yeah, he did that very well. Got his goal. Like, his numbers right now are very, very good in terms of 2024. Probably one of the most formed players in the league. So yeah, now fair play to him, man. Like, hopefully he continues to shut people up who were just trying to rubbish him from the beginning. Like, I'm always a big believer, man. There's certain players like, bro, like, he's not a bad footballer. Like, he might not pass your eye test of what you think you want from a player, but clearly he's a talent that all these managers see. And yeah, right now he's proving it right. So yeah, hopefully he continues. Continues.
Yeah. No, I definitely hear you. And just generally, as regards to Arsenal's starting lineup, what did you think of that? Because I saw that he went with Rice and Partey in the middle. Martinelli obviously started. And Zinchenko as well. Like, so what were your thoughts? Like, is that the lineup you would have went with? Do you think he's going to end up changing it? What were your overall thoughts regarding that?
Yeah, man, this guy. So he's so like. Sometimes he's Partey, sometimes he's plantain. Because honestly, this guy, bro, like he started off the game so well. Then he's just such a liability sometimes on the ball, where he'll just give the ball in dangerous position. So some of like Wolves' most dangerous attacks who came off, just him just giving the ball in dumb positions. But then at the same time, he's a very progressive passer. Like, so in terms of when he plays, we usually do play better going forward. Like, I think he's probably the first choice to Jorginho. He's probably the better kind of overall package in terms of physical and like physically and like ball playing ability. But my kind of ideal starting 11 is still that Rice comes into that 6 and we get a Marino in that then helps Martinelli high up the pitch to unlock him a bit more. Because I love Rice, but I'm not the biggest fan of Rice in the 8. Like, I think we've spoken about, where I feel like he's best. What makes him elite is, you understand, how he eats up space and how good defensively he is. And then let him, and you can still do the whole ball carrying stuff when the opportunity arises. But I don't want your main position to be one of the most attacking players. I just think there's players in that position are more dangerous than him. So, but yeah, overall to start the season, it was kind of either going to be Jorginho or Partey. So I'm not too mad about that start. Zinchenko, again, like, I think he did okay, but then again, it's like when a winger goes up against him, he's a bit, it gets a bit scary. So. I'll still say it's still his position to lose, but I definitely see Calafiori kind of coming more into the team in the bigger games, which was surprising that he didn't get any minutes. I was surprised about that, because I thought when Timber came on, obviously for Zinchenko, I thought eventually Timber would move to the right and then Calafiori would come on, but he never did that. So it was interesting. Maybe he's a lot further behind in terms of readiness to get into the team than we thought he was. So, but yeah, overall, I'm not too mad at the starting 11. I was a bit surprised. I wasn't sure. Because again, I'm not talking about I wasn't sure about whether Martinelli actually would start either, because I thought he might go for Trossard in the start. That was a bit surprising, but again, it just highlighted that in Arteta's eyes, like I always talk about it, like in his eyes right now, as much as people don't like Martinelli, Arteta still wants. He thinks if he brings the best out of Martinelli, he's still the first choice. It's just if you're not performing, Trossard will come and do a good job. So I think again, Martinelli needs to wake up quickly, or he's gonna lose that position again. But yeah, overall, not too mad at the starting 11. It made sense. And yeah, got no real concerns. Yeah, Saliba also was very rusty. I'd say that coming back. Because he also gave the ball in a stupid position, but give that to first game back. So yeah, So yeah, initially, I wasn't too surprised with the team, other than like maybe Trossard for Martinelli is what I would have maybe expected if I was kind of predict what Arteta would have gone with. So, but yeah, not too mad that it makes sense. I think now we've seen enough of Arteta's team to kind of know like at least 9, 10 of the players that he's gonna pick. It's just usually is Rice gonna be in the 8 or 6. Sometimes maybe the kind of main change was Trossard or Martinelli gonna start. So it'll be interesting to see when Timber and Calafiori are both like fully up to speed, what that now means. Because I love Benjamin, but one thing I'll say too, like even like last year was like he needs competition as well. Like I feel like when Tomiyasu was there, that's when he was performing like his absolute best. So again, I need Timber to be, you know what I'm saying, telling him, bro, if you're not 10 out of 10 every game, like I'm gonna take that spot. So again, we want competition for places, but yeah, overall, at the start of the season, it was as expected. We'll see how that progresses as we go. Is what I'd say. Yeah, we'll see
I
how
hear
that
you.
progresses as we go. Yeah,
I hear you. Makes sense. And just very quickly, what were your thoughts on Wolves' performance? Like, do you think they'll be good for the season? Like, yeah,
I
obviously
think
they've
Wolves are
lost
just
Neto, etc. But
yeah.
yeah,
I
what do you
think they'll
think?
be fine, man. Like I really rate their manager. After Bournemouth did him dirty, sacked him, went to Wolves, did a good job, kept them up. So I think they'll be a solid Premier League team, like probably between like 15th and 11th, probably in that kind of range somewhere. Like I think they'll be comfortable. Cunha, that guy is such a baller. He just needs to learn how to finish because he probably should have scored as well. There's another chance that I think it was when Saliba passed the ball that it came to him. The whole go to aim man, he let us off. So again, they need to be bagging those chances. That's probably Wolves' kind of issue they probably have to fix now. Also, we're losing kind of Neto for the creation. So, but yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like they were a threat on the counter, but that's what you expect from Wolves. Like I think they'll give most teams a good game, but ultimately, I think we had too much for them on the day. So I think that's why we came through. Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah. Like Wendy says, hey, yeah, Wolves played well. Gary O'Neill keeps proving that was wrong. 100.
Yep. Very good
100.
manager. A very,
100.
very
Yeah.
good manager. Yeah. Very good manager. And yeah. I think I echo your thoughts. I think they'll be fine this season. And yeah, like obviously, first league game to go away to Arsenal was always going to be a difficult game. But yeah, we can't forget as well. Last season, how VAR was doing them. Yeah, surely it can't be that bad again because oof. Like, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that, man. That's another kind of little run I have as well. We'll talk about that Prem referee conversation a bit later. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. All right, bro. Well, from 1-2 up front team to the other.
Wait,
Time to talk
actually,
about United.
very, very quickly, bro. I see
Go
this
on, bro.
question by Wendy too, when she said, "What more does Trossard have to do?" Which I
Ooh,
feel like
okay.
I feel like this is an issue where it's not even like Trossard's fault. Trossard has to do anything. Again, I think unfortunately for Trossard, it's just profiles where it's like if you have Havertz and Saka, then you want a profile more like Martinelli than Trossard because again, you do want pace in that attack as well, and that's what Trossard doesn't really have. So I think it's not really more what does he have to do, just more. Like in terms of like having a balanced front three, Martinelli probably is the more balanced option. But again, if Martinelli doesn't wake up, Arteta will drop him, which he showed last season. So Trossard probably, if Martinelli doesn't wake up in the first few games, his days are also numbered. So Trossard will come in. But I think that's kind of like my answer to that, bro. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, going on to the like your team. I guess you were at OT, so you saw it live. Yeah, man. So yeah, take us away. How was the game from your point of view?
Yeah, like it was a really interesting game. Obviously, like was going up to OT. I was buzzing, first game of the season, and yeah, man. Like initially, I was actually I was a little bit surprised that De Ligt didn't start because I thought he was gonna go with De Ligt and Mazraoui. Like I thought both of them were gonna start. But obviously Mazraoui started, De Ligt didn't start, and he started Harry Maguire. And I'll get onto his performance in a little bit. But overall, yeah, the atmosphere was brilliant. Like you could tell, it was typical like first game of the season, everyone's pumped up. And yeah, overall, I think like our performance, we had phases where we played well and like we were doing things, but then also like as regards to like a full 90-minute performance rather where like everything is consistent, I feel like we can see we're not there yet. Scoring our chances, converting our chances rather, like I think we still need to work on that. Like Bruno, Like he knows he needs to do better. And obviously Garnacho's miss. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah,
I would have just stayed on the ground, bro, if I was him.
yeah,
It just see me just lying there for the rest of the game. That was embarrassing.
yeah. So
What do you think about people trying to blame Rashford's pass?
Garnacho has to score. Rashford's pass isn't the greatest, but Garnacho still has to score. Yeah, like
Mm.
Rashford definitely could have played a better pass. Like, yeah, but Garnacho still has to score. Like, it's funny as well because obviously we watched it live in the stadium and everyone around us just couldn't believe it. Like literally, like it happened and everyone just had their hands on their heads like this. Like, oh my days. So yeah, man, I think yeah, it was a really bad miss. But yeah, like overall, like I think, like I said, like there was moments where I think, okay, you know what, like I can kind of see what we're trying to do. We definitely should have been like up by half time. And I think, yeah, again, like converting your chances, it makes a massive difference to the flow of the game because now all of a sudden you've got the initiative. Like the other team obviously has to be more aggressive in their attack. That opens up spaces. And then, yeah. So we definitely need to get better at that. But obviously, yeah, man, Zirkzee, like, it
Nah,
was,
he didn't
yeah.
mean it, man.
Zirkzee, he definitely meant it,
He didn't
bro.
mean
It
it,
was
man.
a it
You
was
don't
a
got tech
great
like that.
finish.
He didn't
It
mean
was
that.
a great finish. He definitely meant it. And you know what? It's funny because obviously, like, I was recording bits of content, and like, yeah, Jids and the people around me can vouch. Like, as I was recording, I said the goal's coming. Like, it's coming. Like, it's coming. Like, yeah, like you can tell, like it was coming. And there was moments where Fulham, you know, they were a real threat on the transition. Like, I remember
Talk
there
about
was
it.
one point where like Maguire, and you know what? I think this is um like a good place to quickly talk about his performance before I actually do get onto Joshua Zirkzee. But yeah, I think Maguire, he performed really, really well. I remember there was a moment where, yeah, like he helped deny the counter attacks, and in the air, he was so dominant, like literally, like he was getting his head onto everything. And yeah, man, I feel like yeah, a lot of United fans obviously like they've complained about Harry Maguire and said, you know what, he's not good enough, etc., etc. But I think what United needed in that centre back position was depth. And I think obviously we've got Delit now, we've got Euro. Hopefully, you know, he has a smooth recovery, which hopefully will also allow us to play a higher defensive line. Then obviously we've got Lissandro. And then if you've got Maguire as not necessarily your like one of your top options, but you've got him there in your squad to come in certain moments, then obviously you're not looking at it as a bad option at all. And yeah, I feel like he had a good performance. I think he played well. But yeah, Joshua Zirkzee, I think, yeah, it was literally we were there. The whole stadium was just like, oh my days, like, come on, guys. Like, yeah. Especially towards the end, it was like, you know, Fulham were growing into it. I was still saying, nah, like we're gonna score. Like, do you get me? Like, we've had too many chances. We've got to stick one of them away. And yeah, Joshua Zirkzee, it was a brilliant finish. It definitely wasn't lucky. He definitely meant it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it was definitely intentional. And yeah, I feel like, funnily enough, I don't necessarily even feel like, obviously, he had like the greatest of games.
Yeah, he barely touched
Obviously,
the ball when he came on.
yeah, like, do you get me? It's not like he came on and, you know, like he had like you said, loads of touches of the ball and was doing like loads of different things. But I think like you saw kind of the type of player that he is, like when he did come on, like, do you get me? Like he's someone that he does want to try, and even for the goal, like, do you get me? He picks it up. Do you get me? He moves it along. And I think the good thing was that, yeah, he got back into the box. I feel like that's what we need. And then obviously you got the finishing touch. And yeah, man, like I feel like we did deserve that. I feel like we deserved the win. I think overall,
Mhm.
like when you look at the chances that were created, yeah, Bruno should have scored two. Mount had the chance. Obviously, after we scored, there was the Garnacho miss. So yeah, I do overall think that we deserved the win. But yeah, man, it was good to be back at OT. It was good for us to just like start the season off with a W. I feel like there's definitely room for improvement. There's definitely a lot of things that, you know, we need to work on. But overall, it was a good start. that midfield, Casemiro, I feel like he had these moments here or there, but yeah, I do feel like he performed quite solid. Like I think he had quite a solid game. Um, you saw Mount. I don't know how much, obviously, this transfers like when you're watching it on TV, but in the stadium, like a lot of the fans, like they were really impressed with how Mount was leading the press. Like, he was so aggressive in his press, and like obviously, I think as regards to how we want to play, like that could be something that's really important. Overall, I think obviously he still does need to do a lot more. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, yeah, like it definitely wasn't like the greatest of performances. I think he had moments here or there. And sometimes it does look like Ten Hag is kind of trying to just fit him into the team. And that's going to be a bigger conversation. That's going to be a bigger conversation to have rather later on. But yeah, I think it was definitely like a good start in the first half when we saw him, you know, like really aggressive in his press, trying to get onto the ball, trying to do things. But yeah, quality wise, obviously, we want to see the Mount that was at Chelsea when he was really performing, like, you know, when he broke through. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like where he is. And Kobe, I think, yeah, Kobe, again, you know how highly I rate Kobe. I think off the ball, he was doing a lot of good work as well. I think there was moments where you saw, you know, like what a quality player he is. But yeah, I still think it wasn't necessarily like the greatest game that he's had for us. But yeah, I feel like again, I still want to see him further up the pitch. Like, definitely want to see him further up the pitch. But yeah, I feel like how we set up in midfield, I think it's helping Casemiro. And yeah, yeah, Casemiro looks so much fitter than he did this time last season. Yeah, he does. Like, I think, yeah, we were watching him and we were like, all right, Cass, like, yeah, like this is what we want to see. Like, and yeah, like, do you get me? Like, if we can now get another midfielder to come in during the transfer window, and we still have Casemiro there, you can come in, he can start some games. Obviously, we can keep him fit, we can rest him. Then I feel like, yeah, like that should really help our midfield and our overall balance of the side. But yeah, um, Rashford, yeah, Rashford's performance wasn't great. Um, like it wasn't for a lack of effort, but yeah, like his performance wasn't great. Like I think he still hasn't like got that spark back yet, like that we're waiting for him to get. And hopefully, you know, it does come through. Like obviously, we've seen the talent that he has, like we've seen the qualities that he has. But yeah, like it's going to be interesting to see even what happens in the next match as regards to Garnacho and whether he starts or not. But yeah, Rashford, yeah, like we do want to see more from Rashford. And yeah, hopefully he can bring it. And then Ahmad on the other side, there was moments where you definitely saw the quality. Like you see what type of player he is. Like he wants to get on the ball, he wants to turn, like he wants to give it, he wants to go. Like he's just, you know, someone who likes to play good football. Like he's exciting. And yeah, it weren't again necessarily one of his best games.
Yeah, I
But
don't think it
yeah,
was.
yeah, it weren't necessarily one of his best games. But again, like signs. And I think that's what a lot of this match was about. It was just about signs. It was about, okay, can we see potential here? Can we see potential there? Can we see what we're trying to do here and there? And yeah, like I think overall, obviously, it was important to get the 3 points. And there were things that a lot of United fans liked about that performance. It was nowhere near the perfect performance. And there's a lot of things that we need to improve on. But yeah, like it'll be interesting to see how we set up going forward. But yeah, was really happy to go Old Trafford again, get the W, and yeah, man, we move. And literally, like during the weekend, like my voice, because when that Zirkzee goal went in, oh my gosh, like limbs over Old Trafford, like it was crazy.
Imagine.
So yeah, man, literally, like I remember when he was coming onto the pitch, like, do you get me? Like, I think there's even a recording of me saying it, like. I'm just like, Zirkzee, please, man. Like, do you get me? Come on. And then, yeah, for him to start off his career with a goal and getting the winner.
Yeah.
And I know everyone was lining up that
Oh,
007.
oh,
They were
bro. I even
waiting
saw
for
it.
him.
I even
Oh, they were
ready.
waiting for him. They were waiting for Zirkzee. They were waiting, like, do you get me? And he just said, yeah, none of that. None of that at all. This is how I'm starting off my United career. And I think that also the good thing is that I think obviously a lot has been said about Rude joining our setup, and it's going to be interesting to see what influence he has on the strikers. But yeah, Hoyland watching that, I think that's good. He's going to be watching that and thinking, hey, you know what? Like, I may not get the game time I want if I don't step it up. And I think the competition of places is going to be good for United as a whole. So yeah, man, overall, like, signs were there. Obviously, a lot of things need to be improved upon, but yeah, like, was happy with the win. Saw some potential here or there. Definitely room for improvement. What were your views, bro?
I'll definitely say, yeah. I feel like this is definitely one of them games where it's like you have the fan opinion, you have the tactical opinion, and obviously the tactical opinion, which I definitely hear where they're coming from in terms of like if you look at the game too and you think structurally how United are setting up, again, it's still the whole like 3-1-6, which I think again, I'm the kind of person where I don't claim I know enough about football to like look at how you're setting up tactically and say this is not going to work, and if you do this, you're going to be punished. But obviously, I've seen that argument, and I can see the logic of where because I also think Fulham could have done a lot more to punish you, even in those situations. As much as
in the transition,
in the transition, I think they could have also killed you in the transitions too if they had maybe better wingers or they made better decisions in the key moments. Because even as much as you have to give Maguire the credit for stopping it, but Maguire shouldn't have even been given the chance to stop that Ferreira counter attack. It should have been taken out of his hands. Like, it was such a clutch moment in the game where it shouldn't have even. So again, that's where it's like the whole. I personally still want to see United with their strongest team before I make like a final decision on whether even Ten Hag's tactics, when it's at its best, how high can you guys even go? Because it might be a thing where even with your strongest team, with these tactics, your seeding is still maybe finishing top 4 because like it's still too transitional. It's still not, you're not dominating or holding on to the ball enough to like have guaranteed points every game. Where if you're playing like, but I think next game versus Brighton is going to be so interesting because Brighton have the type of wingers that I think can really hurt you. So if you're giving Matoma or Minte that just brought in now, the kind of transitional breaks that you're giving Fulham, that's when again is where it's like, oh, we see whether like, are you guys good enough at what you're trying to do? Because I mean, this is also a massive thing of football that people don't talk about. Is like, are you good enough at what you're trying to do that you can kill off games before teams can exploit your weakness? Or are you guys also going to be inconsistent with your finishing, or you're going to give too many chances where every game is like you either score first or the opponent scores first, and then it's low. So I think that's what we need more kind of games to kind of see. But obviously, the tactical kind of like what I've seen anyway, people kind of take away from the game is that it's still as much as it's better than last season. Like, it's not as transitional, like it's not as open, but it's still a massive kind of I guess risk in terms of the way you're playing with just again vacating the midfield. And if a player loses their duel, now it's long on the transition. So it's just about the teams that can punish that, and whether you guys are good enough going forward to kill off the game before that happens. So that's why I won't sit here and say definitely it's not going to work, because again, if you get you guys are very, very good at what you're trying to do, and I think maybe it will. I'm not tactical, but it's definitely I guess from the maybe the neutral. I'm a United hater, but I guess just from the outside, like, looking at the game, I'd say that's one thing I definitely took away. Where it was still like very it was still kind of, when you lose the ball in those positions, like they made some like really good openings that they should have done a lot better with. That again is now a different result and different game. So I'd say that was kind of like my one kind of watch it that we'll kind of see. I think the Brighton game, I think, will be a better indication of what to expect from United this year. Because I think Fulham, like I said, them not I think they were playing Pereira in centre mid. Them not having what's it called, Polinia. It's like I feel like maybe I would also say maybe like I'll say because of that, it's like they're not really the team to really judge how fragile you guys are. So but I think Brighton should be more interested to see, like, are you guys still going to be just looking open when you actually play against good wingers, or does Ten Hag have something for that? So that's what we're gonna have to wait and see for the next game. But other than that, Bruno should have definitely finished one or two of those chances. I think I don't know why he tried outside foot the first one again. It was like, bro, just put it away. I don't know what you're doing here. So yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. It's interesting that you say about that you talk about Mount because again, like I agree. Again, he's probably one of those players where his best assets right now at United have been his off the ball kind of work
Off the ball,
and his
yeah.
pressing and stuff. But it's like you didn't buy him for off the ball. Like you want him to do something with the ball as well. And it's like
Yeah, not
Zirkzee comes
totally,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, like Zirkzee comes in, I guess, into the team. Then that pushes out Mount. So again, it's kind of that whole like, why did you guys buy Mount? Is Mount gonna just be rotation for Bruno? Is that what he's like medium to long term future is while Bruno's here? That's something Ten Hag has to really figure out because 60 million asset just coming off the bench seems like a waste of resources, regardless of whether like he was pressing well in the game. So I think that's one to keep an eye on. I agree, Rashford was poor. I think Ahmad as well. I don't think he had a good game at all. Like I think I'm watching him in this game. I think he really reminds me of Sancho again, like the type of player he is, where he wants like the give and go kind of football. Where again, it's like is he gonna get the same kind of criticism that Sancho got towards the end? Where it's like people also look at him and say, bro, you also need to do more of beating your man as well as a winger, and don't always be looking for the 1-2 as well. That's something to keep an eye on when it comes to Ahmad. It's still early, but that's one thing I thought where he's doing too much of the let's do give and go football. Where it's like as a winger too, I think you need to also be able to like scare your opposing fullback as well to let him know that if you give me a second, I'm gonna get past you. So that's one thing to look out for. So it's interesting, like you say, with Rashford, because I don't think Ahmad was great either. So what does Ten Hag do next game? Does Garnacho start on the bench again? Who does he drop? I kind of think he might drop Ahmad at the first opportunity more than he'll drop Rashford. So how's that gonna go down? We shall see. And again, I want to see how you guys actually play too when the lit actually does start. Zirkzee does start. Because that's when, again, with the transitions, are you guys any better when you have a higher line now? Or you're pressing with Zirkzee? Because the chances that Bruno got, you'd have to think if Zirkzee had got those chances, you would have started off the game. It's like you would have been ahead at that point. And again, like you say, when you get those goals, it's a different game now. If you're 1-2-0 up, and now you can sit back a bit more and just hit them on a counter, then you're even more dangerous. But when you don't get those goals and it's still transitional, then you're at risk. So yeah, I think Martinez too. I don't think he had the greatest game. I think he kind of grew into it as well. Because I felt I think that was when what's his name? Traore, we oiled up biceps, just ran past him. So that's another one to also look out for where it's like we say where Martinez is a very good footballer, like never deny that he's a great centre back, very good on the ball. But if Ten Hag's system is gonna now mean that he's gonna have to be defending wide channels, and that's something that I've already kind of seen, and I agree with that. It's his weakness. You start to put him in a position to kind of fail more often than not. So again, how does that actually look when everything is operational? So this is where I feel like the kind of my main takeaways from the game was just more. I'm still not confident about United how they're playing structurally. So I'm gonna need more games to see with like your strongest team whether this is gonna work out or not when it comes to Ten Hag. But that's kind of like my kind of take on it.
I feel like most United fans like who like were even talking about the fixture before the match was played. I don't think many people expected just to see like from game one, like all our answers, all our questions rather answered. Like, do you get me? I feel like it was always going to take a few games, like to see different things and to see, okay, have we developed a style of play? Is it working? What are we going with? And I feel like in the first game, obviously you can't take too much from it at all. Like it's the first game of the season. Like a lot of people's what a lot of people say is that the first game of the season, the most important thing is getting the W. Like, do you get me? So it's like you can't read too much into it. But obviously, like United fans, obviously you're looking at it from like a different analytical lens. Like when you're like, looking at specific players, looking at how we're tactically setting up, like, and I think especially in the stadium, like, I don't think any United fan thinks that it was a great performance. I don't think, well, I say not any, I'm sure there's some, like, you know how it is, but like the majority of United fans, I don't think we came out thinking that's a great performance. I don't think we came out thinking, oh, we've definitely now got a style of play. I don't think we came out thinking, oh, you know what, this is definitely a sign that we're going to be so much better than last season. But I feel like what we did come out thinking was, okay, we were looking at a lot of the problems that we had and some of the players, for example, we looked at Casemiro and like Wendy said, yeah, he did look much fitter. Like he looked more solid. And it's like, cool. Can we set up in a way that doesn't compromise him, but it also doesn't compromise our style of play? And I feel like these are the big questions that Ten Hag's gonna have to answer. Like, so when you're looking at someone like a Mount, you're seeing his off the ball work, you're seeing the pressing that might influence our style of play, but it might be a compromise as regards to quality. Because yeah, we need you also to be on the ball doing things. Like it's not enough just to be pressing. It's not enough just to have great off the ball movement. So I feel like there's things here and there where we're gonna have to try and figure out. I think it's interesting to see to hear you speak about the Brighton game as well, because I think that's going to be interesting because Brighton are like they attack quite aggressively. So even talking about transitions, it's gonna be also interesting to see what transitions they give up for us.
No,
because
facts.
yeah, that's also going to be interesting to see because yeah, like I feel like there's going to be chances for us to attack them on the transition, and it's going to be interesting to see how we like capitalize on that. So yeah, of course we got Brighton, Liverpool. Like there's much more games where we can really see we're soon gonna find out cool what's going on with United. Like there's not so much we can read into this game, but yeah, I think definitely yeah, it was a game where we were looking at different players and we were trying to figure out, okay, this potentially could work, this potentially can't, and hopefully, like as we go on through the season, things get better. So yeah, unorthodox change says Martinez was solid, but he was giving away possession often for no reason. Yeah, I feel like he did have like I think I'm similar to you. I think he grew into the game, like and yeah, but there were times where yeah he was a bit slack, and there was times where he was a bit compromised, and yeah Martinez, I think, like you said, like those wide channels, like when he's getting drawn out of position, yeah, I feel like that's probably where he's most vulnerable. Like, and it's funny because a lot of people spoke about when he was coming into league, like the aerial aspect of things. And I actually feel like that aspect of things is actually not that bad. Like, do you get me?
Not, I think he's like
yeah,
average.
yeah, like it's not that bad. Like it's not. I don't think we look at it and just think, oh, that is specifically. Yeah, that's such a bad weakness. Like you know how people were talking about it, like, oh, Martinez is going to get targeted in the air and it's gonna. Yeah, but where actually I do think you're seeing more of a weakness is exactly what you said. Like when he's getting drawn out of position and he's got to now defend those channels. And yeah, we're really gonna have to like address that like tactically and yeah, make sure that he needs to do better, but also we need to make sure we're not exposing him like that. And yeah. I also want to talk about Mazraoui because
he did well.
Like, yeah, and yeah, it's interesting you saying that because us in the stadium, we were all super impressed by his performance. Like he was brilliant. Like we were looking at him more like, yeah, like this guy is solid. This is a
he was
very
playing
solid
everywhere.
debut.
Yeah,
it was a very solid debut. So yeah, like I think hopefully that is.
Hey man, the
like,
AWB is not even cold yet, bro.
Oh,
talking about another
hey,
right
man.
back like this.
Hey man, shout out Wan-Bissaka, man.
Hey,
like
man.
you know, he done a lot of great things for us. I won't forget his performance in the FA Cup final, man. I don't have a bad word to say about Wan-Bissaka. Like obviously we know what his weaknesses are. I'm not gonna rehash that. Like, do you get me? We know, yeah, on the ball, attacking wise, etc. Sometimes his lapse at the back post. But yeah, man, he's gone to West Ham. I wish him all the best. Like, yeah, nah, like I think he done a lot of good things for us. So yeah, like now we got Mazraoui. And I feel like he's gonna be really interesting to watch this season. Like, I think he's gonna be. Yeah, I think he's gonna be. Really
and also Shaw is out for a minute. I was gonna say what's gonna happen when Shaw comes back, but I guess we're not gonna find out for a while.
So yeah, I guess, yeah. But you know what? I feel like we can't depend on Shaw anyway. So yeah, I think we got to look at Mazraoui and yeah, like think him and Dallo potentially like moving forward, they're going to be our fullbacks. And so yeah, like
do you have any strong thoughts on that? I don't think we've spoken about that in terms of are you annoyed at all? I saw that the discourse United fan base, so Shaw was fit enough to go play for England, and then first game.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't understand. I don't understand how you didn't play since Feb.
Mm.
Was it Feb? I think it was Feb. And
Yeah.
then you go to England, and then you are unfit for the start of the tournament.
Yeah.
Then you eventually play towards the latter stages, and then you're injured again, and you can't play for United. Like,
Until after the
yeah,
international break.
until like I don't
How
understand
he
it.
plays for England
Yeah,
in that international break.
I don't understand it. But yeah, I think yeah, like yeah, it might actually. so so I just, so yeah. I'm just reading this comment. It says, "I definitely think United need to cut losses with Shaw," and then to follow that up, Shaw is Ben Simmons of football. I don't know if you're that familiar, obviously, with Ben Simmons of basketball, but yeah, essentially Ben Simmons and injuries. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
they,
heard. I've
yeah.
heard.
So yeah, man. Shaw, yeah, yeah.
Think it's done.
Like we can't rely on him. Like
Yeah,
we can't
I think
rely
he
on
still
him.
has like 3
Yeah,
years left in his contract as well.
yeah.
So
We
even
just
that
can't
one's
rely
gonna
on
be.
him.
I don't know what you guys are gonna do with him, boy. But I guess you just be chilling in the back, playing when you can.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, man. Like quickly talking about Fulham, I think yeah. Again, I think they'll be fine this season. They
yeah,
definitely do miss Paulinho. Like yeah, they do. Um, But yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like you saw some good things from them. Smith Rowe, I think he'll grow into the team. Like, yeah, I don't think it was necessarily like his best game, but yeah, I'm sure
nah,
he'll grow into the team. So
yeah,
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 like
yeah. I think again
again,
with more football, he hasn't played football in like 2 years. So yeah, he's definitely gonna
yeah,
need a few games to get into. And also, I don't think Fulham had the ball long enough in dangerous positions for him to really shine either. So that's
100%,
where yeah, Fulham need to also get a handle on that too. They need to buy that Paulinho replacement as soon as possible.
100%.
Yeah, that midfield was for United's midfield to boss you off the pitch, and yeah, you got questions that need to be addressed. That's what I'll say.
You know what it is, yeah? Like I can't wait until the transfer window is shut and everything is set in stone. And I
Mm,
feel like, yeah, man, that's when we're really, it would be good to like revisit the predictions and actually, yeah, do the predictions based on the squads that we know. Well, obviously, there's the January transfer window, but yeah, like based on the dated squads, shall I say, it'll be interesting to do that. And yeah, and also obviously having a couple of games that have gone past. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see
yeah, how
because
the squads are looking.
yeah, how everything's looking because yeah, I'm seeing a lot of talking
Hey
currently.
man,
A lot of
listen.
talking.
Hey
A
man,
lot of talking.
I've been in plain sight, bro. I told you, United's biggest hater. Okay,
I hear
I
you,
haven't been
bro.
hiding.
I hear you,
Yeah,
bro. Nah, you said it, bro. You said it. I think with me, I'm what? I'm Liverpool's biggest hater. Obviously, you know Arsenal are the ops. You know City are the ops as well. Like, yeah, man. Just there's too many enemies.
hey
Like, do you
man,
get me? I look to the left.
this
I
is
look to
blame
the right.
Fergie, bro.
I look to the
Blame
left. I look to
Fergie.
the right.
Ruin
Bro,
childhoods.
fam. Even next teams, bro. Fam. Like, when I was in Birmingham. There's a blue support. I was like, yeah, I don't like United. I said, why? What did we do to you?
Hey man,
What
blame
beef do we
Fergie.
have with you? I was just like, what? Like, yeah, man, just ops all over the place. But yeah, man, yeah, should be interesting. But yeah, bro, I think it would be good to get onto the other fixtures. And
Okay,
I want to start off with Liverpool versus Ipswich.
good game,
Yeah,
good game.
what did you think? Obviously, you know, we've spoken about Ipswich, we've spoken about Liverpool, spoken about McKenna, and obviously the difficulties that he's going to have this season, but, you know, him fighting to stay up. And obviously, we've spoken about Slot coming into Liverpool and how that's going to affect them and, you know, change the dynamic of how they play potentially, how they line up. But yeah, what was overall your thoughts on the game?
I guess I'll definitely have to start off by first giving a massive shout out to Ipswich because I
Mm-hmm.
actually think for the first like 60 minutes they played really well and they
First half,
actually
they were fighting, man. They were
bro like
fighting.
Liverpool was
They
struggling
were
in that first half.
fighting.
They were
Mm-hmm.
definitely team in the first half for sure. Like Liverpool were struggling, which again, it kind of also I guess it is to touch on Liverpool there briefly as well, because I also felt like Liverpool started off the game like really sluggish. But then I don't know if that's like I need to also adapt to the fact that they now have a possession-based manager, so maybe they're not going to be as intense. But then I do think they were sluggish because they did definitely pick it up in the second half. So like, but then that's why it's kind of hard to kind of again Liverpool be similar to kind of United in that we need a few more games to really assess how they're gonna play and do under like slot, because I don't know how much of it was like the halftime changes and then bringing on Kanate for Kwanzaa, and or how much of it was like Ipswich put everything into that first like 60 minutes, and eventually when you're like the quality of Liverpool is always going to show when tiredness and stuff starts to come into it as well, where you can't keep that intensity for the whole game, especially when you don't have a squad that you can take players off and the quality is still the same, which I think is ultimately going to be like Ipswich's undoing throughout the season. But what I would say is that they definitely played much better than I expect them to. And it's given me a lot more confidence that they have a higher chance of staying up than maybe I initially thought after watching them play. Because I think against other teams in that kind of place, how they play football, the bravery to still play up in the back, like their left back, who I thought actually was doing really well against Salah until you know Salah cooked him in the end with a goal. Oh no, with the assist for Jota. I think he was very impressive. Obviously, what's his name, bro? The winger Hutchinson that came from Arsenal.
Hutchinson,
Hutchinson that came from. I think he looks very impressive. I can see why they they spent the bag on bringing him in, because it definitely seems like one of those players. Which was when I was watching it, I was like trying to imagine. Like I always think, did we make a mistake? Kind of obviously letting this player go, and obviously it's only the first kind of game I've really seen him play. But my kind of initial thought on him was that he seems like maybe the kind of guy that needs to be the main guy in the team. So again, maybe I like an Ipswich, he's perfect. Where that's probably why they put the money on him, because they know that he's a massive part to how they play. Like he probably should have done better with the breakaway chance that he got. Where again, he kind of just looked like maybe he didn't have the pace to break away, so he kind of had to slow down. So again, that's never really a great kind of sign. I think when it comes to that wingers, in my kind of the wingers I prefer. I want the wingers I'm gonna burst past in that position and kind of get a chance off. But overall, I'd say Ipswich, I think they did really well. They made them showed a good account of themselves their first game back in like 22 years in the Prem. So fair play to them. Like I'm definitely invested in their kind of storyline now to see how they do against teams relative to their position. I guess touching on Liverpool a bit, I'll definitely say, I think Liverpool. Also, say last week at Ipswich, there was definitely a red card, by the way, too, where my man came and just spewed up the ball,
the second
bro.
yellow.
Like, bro, I said that's a
100%.
red card.
100%.
That's a red. It was just a freshy decision. I don't know what he was thinking. Like,
100%.
I think he thought this was in the chat. I don't know what he thought this was.
100%.
I'm sure at all levels of football, that's a red card. But so he was even mad there. So they got away with that, and if anything had happened, I'm sure Liverpool fans would have come back to that decision as being one where it's like, is this because they're small boys compared to us that you're trying to allow them? Because it felt like an allow them decision, because it was already. But overall, Liverpool definitely deserved to win. Second half, they grew into it. The manager, fair play, he made the change at halftime that he thought he needed to make. He said Kwanzaa's losing too many duels. Brought on Kanate. Like worked out on Sunday, eventually pulled away, got their goal. Second half, it probably could have ended like 4 or 5. So Ipswich probably got lucky towards the end that the scoreline ended like respectably for them. So I'd say, ultimately, Liverpool did what we expect them to do. Gravenberg did very well. Again, not really a CDM, so that's another kind of core position that they haven't fixed this window that we're going to see in the bigger games against teams that are more of a threat. How costly that's going to be to them. But I think ultimately, I'm still confident that they're going to probably be the third best team in the league this season. It seems like that's their trajectory. They definitely should strengthen. I don't like when clubs do this whole we're not going to buy no one unless they're so very. You don't have a perfect squad, bro. Like there's definitely players that you can strengthen on, but again, it's as an Arsenal fan, it's cheap. That's what that means. It's cheap messaging from the board. So if I need to translate for anyone, that's what that means. I'm only gonna buy the player we really need. But overall, comfortable win for them in the end. Don't think they can really complain too much. Nice start under Slot's tenure. And kind of go from here. There'll be definitely harder games for them. I think if Ipswich maybe had more quality in the final third, then maybe they could have hurt them a lot more. Because I was really impressed by that Ipswich striker too. I forgot his name now. Liam. I forgot his name now. It's not a name, but yeah, the number 9 that they got off from C's Academy. Again, C's Academy clearly producing very good players because like he was very impressive in that game going against Van Dijk and Kwanzaa in the first half, especially. Like I think he did really well. So yeah, I think that's kind of like my kind of overview of the game. But what was your kind of takeaway, bro?
Yeah, I think similar. I was impressed with Ipswich, especially that first half. I think, they gave a really good account for themselves. And yeah, it'll be it'll be great to see them like approach more games like that. And yeah, like obviously it was the first game of the season. The crowd's gonna be hyped. There's Ed Sheeran there. Like, do you get me? So much going on. But yeah, like I think you've got a team obviously who have done really well the last couple of years, and they're coming to the Prem and they're really positive. We just hope that obviously they're not naive because it's the balance. Like, do you get me? You don't want to be naive because ultimately, like, it is about staying up. So you do need to know how to adapt your game. But yeah, I felt like they played really well. As regards to Liverpool, yeah, man, like I think second half they stepped it up, and yeah, they've just got difference makers. You look at Salah again, goal and assist. I think they said for every single first game of the season he's been at Liverpool in the Prem, he scored or assisted. I think that was the stat. So yeah, man, like he's Salah's guaranteed numbers, even when he's not playing great. Like, he's just someone who he's going to affect the football match. And yeah, and then you saw Yota as well.
Bro, I saw a stat that Liverpool posted. It was 300 GA goals and assists in 350 matches.
In 350 games. Yeah, ridiculous. Like he's guaranteed GA. Like literally, he's guaranteed GA. And yeah, man, he's literally just picked up from where he left off. Yeah, and Salah's gonna be Salah. Yota, I think he is critical to Liverpool's season. They need to keep him fit. If they can keep him fit, then that's gonna really, really help like their chances of doing very well this season, because he's so clinical. And it's ironic I say that because there was actually a chance with the header where I couldn't believe he missed. Yeah, I couldn't believe he missed, especially Yota. He's normally so good in the air, even though he's not that tall, but he's normally great in the air. So yeah, I couldn't believe he missed that. But yeah, like I think he's going to be critical to them being successful this season because yeah, he's such a great finisher. And I think Liverpool last season, like, part of their problem was not being able to finish chances outside of Salah. Like, and you had problems with Nunes, and there was Diaz being wasteful, and Gakpo. And I think Yota, he is also someone who's consistent and he's going to put up his numbers. But yeah, his issue more so is fitness. Because yeah, we saw last season when Salah went to the African Cup of Nations, Yota came in and he done the business. Like, and then he got injured after. So yeah, if he can stay fit, then I think that's really going to help them. Trent, like some of his passes for that first goal where Salah set up Yota, that initial pass from Trent to open it up, and then
Bro, do you see the left back? He tried to put his hand up and play him offside. You knew that he wasn't getting back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, quick comment. I couldn't believe my eyes when Yota missed. That's definitely FPL related.
Oh, of course it is.
But yeah, I couldn't believe that you missed that either. But yeah, Yota is normally like so clinical in the air. So yeah, 9 times out of 10 he's gonna score that. So yeah, but yeah, Trent, like some of those passes, like when you see, and obviously there's so much conversations about Trent. He's not a great defender, which I've said. I feel like that discussion also is exaggerated. Like, I think a lot of people that critique his defending, yeah, they definitely exaggerate how bad of a defender he is. But yeah, he does have weaknesses in his defensive capabilities, not to the extent that people like to suggest. But bro, on the ball, this guy is world class. Like world class. Like he can do things that other players can't do. Like, and yeah, he picks the ball up and he can just open up the pitch. And yeah, I think you saw that in that game. So yeah, he's going to be very, very critical to the season as well. Yeah, in that midfield position, I agree. Definitely, they need a 6. I think Liverpool fans know they need a 6. I think Slot even knows he needs a 6. He's just saying what he needs to say. Do you get me? Like everyone knows. Like, do you get
Bro,
me?
I
He's the
think
worst.
Endo knows as well, bro. Endo
Yeah, Endo
himself said
knows.
they need a 6.
Yeah, do you get me? And that's no slight to Endo because I think he came in last season and he done well. Like, do you get me where he can? But yeah, they need the 6, man. Like, do you get me? We know that will dramatically improve them. So yeah, and obviously when I say a 6, a good quality 6. Do you get me? Not just anyone. But yeah. So yeah, Liverpool solid start, 2-0. Be interesting to see how they progress. But yeah, on to the next match, bro. Villa and West Ham. And I think this one's really interesting because obviously a lot's been said about West Ham and the signings they've made, and obviously the change of manager. Moyes left, and then obviously you've got Villa with Emery, and he's now playing Champions League football. He's come into the football club and he's completely transformed it. And yeah, man, like it was an interesting game. Like I think a lot of people, including us, like we were like really on the edge as regards to what way it will go. It ended up going to Villa. What did you think of the match?
Bro, I have to first start by saying, oh, that's not even my name.
That's not even my name.
That's not even my name.
That's not even my name, mate. That's not even my name, mate.
I think it was Amsterdam forever enough.
That's not even my name, mate.
That's not even my name, mate. But yeah, nah. So yeah, he was cold. Like he did what he needed to do. I don't know how they left. Oh, I guess to be fair, I guess they had Antonio marketing, but Antonio needs to be doing so much better against such a threat like that.
He was in he was in so much space, man.
No, because he left Antonio. Antonio was marketing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just
he just
you
left.
Can't allow him to do that.
You can't
allow him.
Yeah, you need to be stopping him by any means. So yeah, no, he did what he needed to do, man. First game. Getting his debut going like 3 minutes into the match, you really can't ask for more, right? So yeah,
there's a lot of United fans that really wanted him, and some Arsenal fans as well. But
I was saying it like again, if you guys like, if you're trying to give the keys to Mainly the way you're trying to give it to him, then again, that's the kind of player I think you get alongside him. I mean, that's the kind of player you get alongside him to understand, do the dog work for him. Because one thing I don't think he spoke about it when he spoke about Mainly. I also think he gassed out as well in that game, but again. That you're making this guy run too much for the type of player he is. Yeah, we need to
Just very quickly on that. Yeah, what I was even just gonna say, very, very quickly was that like we want to see Manu further up the pitch. I've said it like loads of different times, and United need like a player who has the legs to get up and down. And yeah, I think you did see Manu get tired, and he was working tirelessly off the ball, especially in the first half. Like, I was impressed with it. But yeah, man, like we need like a another player to come into that midfield who has the legs to get up and down the pitch. And yeah, like you're seeing what Onana was doing for Villa, and yeah, man, he's someone that can get up and down the pitch, and he's not necessarily just someone that sits either. Like, do you get me? I think he can drive the ball. Like, and yeah, a lot of people have said, kind of similar to Rice, where it's just like, oh, you know what? Some of his greater qualities are actually when he's picking the ball from deep and he's pushing it forward. But yeah, he's an athlete. Like, he's someone that like can get up and down, and I think that's seriously gonna help Villa.
Bro, we call them space eaters. Just eat space. That's what he does, bro. You think you're away, and then he's long legs. He's just right behind you. It's scary. So yeah, I think he had a very good game. I think they definitely need to figure out what they're doing with I guess his partner, because I'm not moved by Tielemans. I think they probably need. I think a bit similar to Rice, where I've spoken to one of I've had conversations about this, where it definitely receives more with the way people talk about Onana's technical ability, where because he's big and tall, he's only be PMP. I don't think he's like dictating play levels in midfield, but he's definitely not as bad as people kind of make him seem on the ball. But I still because they've lost to Douglas Luiz, I think they do need someone next to him who can kind of hold, like, actually dictate a bit more, is what I would say about Villa in general. But overall, they were solid. I think it was a good performance. I'll be honest, bro. I'm gonna need you to kind of help me more with the second half, because I fell asleep after the first half. So
okay, bro, don't worry.
So I'm gonna need you to cover me. But my kind of initial thoughts on, like, I guess West Ham too is, like, again, on paper they have very good players. But one thing I have heard about them too is Lopetegui, that the manager. Are you the guy to unlock all these attacking players as well? Because I was watching them thinking, this doesn't seem too different to what I was seeing from Moyes. But again, first game of the season, let's see how he does with more time but how he makes Kudus, Bowen, understand? Like, what's the Somerville, these kind of players, Paqueta, how he makes them kind of gel together is gonna make or break him. Because like I was watching it thinking, with the talent that I think they have in their squad, I wasn't as impressed with how they kind of approach the game. Like Antonio too, seems like a cool guy, but yeah, I'm sure like that position too needs to be strengthened in there is what I definitely would say, like for West Ham moving forward. So, but yeah, I think that was kind of like my kind of initial kind of main thoughts on the game. What was your kind of take? Like what I saw anyway.
I'll fill in the blanks in the second half. But yeah, I think West Ham, obviously they got back into the game, and like I think they definitely did improve, because earlier on Villa could have like even Bailey, I don't know if you saw the chance where like he rounded the keeper and then he hit the post basically.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was the touch, and that move was nasty. The touch.
But again, when talking about misses this weekend, that was another really bad one. Like where he should have.
Yeah, I'll allow him though. The touch was sensational.
Nah, but bro, you need to, bro. And Bailey's a baller. I rate him so highly, but bro, watch that clip again, bro. He should be scoring, man. Like but like overall, Villa. There was moments in the game where it looked like they were going to put it to bed. They didn't. Obviously, there was a controversial penalty decision, and then West Ham get back into it, and they were doing some good things, but then
I saw that. Did you think it was a penalty? Yeah, it was very bro. That again, this is I was gonna be a bit, but this is why even the Prem as well. This initiative of we're trying to give the referees more power again and less reliance on VAR. I was like, did we not come back from the season saying that these Premier League referees are horrible? Why was the initiative to give them more power and understand? Like there was that one. Even the game today, the Palace game, where Eze scored a bang of my freaking referee blowing his whistle straight away. Because I was so annoyed at that, bro. I said, my FPL, what are you doing?
Hey, we'll get onto that. What
are you doing? Nah, these referees, man, they need to be stopped.
But yeah, you know what it is? I think definitely like the quality of refereeing in the Premier League is it's such a tiring conversation, bro. Like it tires me. Like literally it tires me. And I feel like every club, like they can reel off a list of, just refereeing decisions where it was just like, come on, man, what is this? Like, you get me? And I think it's the inconsistencies, but yeah, man, like hopefully it improves. I know a lot of us aren't hopeful of that.
Boy, I've given up, man. So when it also what happened to the bro? I don't know if you saw the. I thought we were meant to be getting live announcements of what's happening now, so the fans know what's going on. Next thing I know, I see that they set up a Twitter page to be sending live tweets about what's going on in the VAR. Like, bro, this is what we asked for. You asked for A and they're giving you C. Like, so but man, I'll keep writing. So let me just But I think that was controversial. I also think that was super, super soft, that penalty. I think it was super soft. Like, he got touching the ball and he's fairly
I saw it. I was like, But West Ham grew into the game, but then Villa, and man, Duran, he came on, got the goal.
Bro, I was saying, out of all the strikers that Chelsea were linked to this summer, this might have been the guy they actually should have got over the line. Because one thing I'll give him is that he's ball striking. The guy can hit. You can hit a ball. You understand? So if you're giving him these chances that Jackson is flopping, I actually think he actually could be a good alternative. But no, it's João Felix is the answer. He's who they need. Well, go on, bro.
But I thought it was just very ironic, obviously, that he's been linked with West Ham and then he gets the goal. And his celebration was interesting because he seemed to kind of try to signal that, like I'm staying, essentially. So man, he's going to be really important for Villa because Watkins, this wasn't his greatest game. He looks like he's still getting up to speed with things.
But he had no preseason.
Had no preseason. So he's still getting match fitness. And I think with them being in the Champions League and obviously the other competitions, Duran's going to be really important to, Villa's success this season. So, man, I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Emery does with this Villa team. And it's going to be very interesting to see what Lopetegui does with West Ham and all of the new players. But Villa got off to a really good start, 3 points. And obviously next they've got you lot. So man, it should be interesting.
But
Quickly moving on. Everton, Brighton, they done the business, man. Like they
Yeah,
really done the business. Really done the business. I think, yeah, like Brighton have this ability of managers can come, go, players can come, go. Brighton are gonna Brighton. Like
bro. Unlike all
Brighton are
these
gonna
other
Brighton.
teams, these other
Yeah,
teams that are pretending that they're doing data-led decisions. Brighton are actually
yeah,
doing
man.
it.
Yeah,
They're
Brighton are
actually
gonna
doing it.
Brighton, man. Like
Yeah.
literally, they're gonna Brighton. They're gonna recruit well. They're gonna like develop players. They're gonna implement their style of football. And yeah, man, like what a way to start. And yeah, Everton, free. Oof. Hey, man,
Bro,
it's
remember
tough,
I had
tough,
them in
tough.
my
Yeah,
battle
yeah,
relegation.
yeah.
Battle
Oof,
relegation. It's
yeah.
looking. I get why these are trying to ask for ridiculous fees for Brampway, because it's looking like if he's
Mm,
not there, it might be a
mm,
guaranteed trip down to the championship, boy. So
damn,
I can
yeah.
see why they're trying to keep him back. All in, like, how long is he injured for? By the way, I know he's out, but I don't know
I'm not sure, you know.
when he's back. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, they need him back expeditiously because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like they definitely looked very vulnerable. Like, and I
Yeah.
guess the play I want to kind of highlight. I don't think I spoke to you about it, but a player that I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely keeping an eye on this season is Minte, that they brought from final. He was on his slot last season, and yeah, he looks like
Yeah.
a very promising winger. So yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
have him on one side, you have Matoma. Didn't have the
Yeah.
greatest of a lot of seasons last year,
Yeah.
like
It's
with
gonna
loads of
be interesting to
injuries.
see if he can
Him coming
rediscover his
back,
form.
big
Yeah.
problem. And then
I feel like
I have to give
go on,
my
bro.
guy, I have to give this guy, the guy that's played for both our clubs, give him his credit, man. Going into his
Welps.
16th,
That guy
16th,
that
16th,
guy
bro.
Welps.
This is his 16th season. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
believe that stat. He
Yeah,
scored in
man.
this is the 16th season he scored a goal in. So fair play
Yeah,
to him,
man.
man. He came and
Mm-hmm.
punished Everton. Like he
Mm-hmm.
came and punished them. So yeah, no, very good performance from him. So yeah,
Yeah.
they also, like you said, alluded to earlier, like they also look quite susceptible as well to
Mm-hmm.
kind of chance. Everton probably should have probably got a goal or two as well in that game. So next week
Yeah.
against United, I'm tuned in for that one. I think that should be a very interesting match. Yeah,
Definitely.
very
Definitely. But
interesting match.
yeah. It's funny because I was about to say, obviously, because of the start of the season, there's so much things that you're looking at, and I feel like I've said it will be interesting to see how, like a million times, a million times in this episode. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if
Mm.
like how Brighton's and United styles like affect one another. So yeah, it will be, but Brighton look like, yeah, they're ready to go again, man. Like, yeah, and
Yeah.
how that football club is run, yeah, brilliant. Like,
Nah, you have to give
absolutely
them credit, man.
brilliant.
Like we said, bro,
Mhm.
I still wanna have my Brighton fan one day that tells me what the expectations are. Because yeah,
Yeah.
from where they've come from and what they're doing now in the Prem, yeah, I
Hmm.
think as a fan, you must be very happy with how that club is and what you're
Yep.
doing. When the other clubs are
100%.
fluctuating and you're just there as a solid Prem team, aiming for like a top 10 finish every season now. Like fair play to them, man. Like they recruited like wonderfully. So yeah, no, they're gonna be
Mhm.
a very interesting to see, and I think they're gonna bring United a lot of problems, a lot of problems. So we're gonna see.
They like to bring you guys problems as well.
No, they
So
do, they do,
you
they
know,
do,
like, we'll
they do. But
see.
hey, man, we're not playing
We'll
them for a
see. We'll
little bit.
see.
So, bro, this is
Yeah,
in your
man.
horizon.
Yeah,
That's why
don't
I'm just
worry.
highlighting it.
We worry about Brighton. You worry about Villa
Yeah,
because
it's a
Villa
big.
Park,
I am worried. I am worried.
Villa Park. Hey, man,
I am worried, bro. You don't have to
that's a
tell me to
tough
be
place to
worried.
go.
Hey,
Tough place. We've both got tough games next week. So yeah,
nah, it's
man, we'll
facts,
see.
facts.
We'll see how we both fare. But yeah, bro, Newcastle, Southampton. I want to talk about Shah. What was he doing? Did you see he sending off?
Bro, it was so
Did you see
stupid.
it?
Yeah, I did
Bro,
see it, bro. It
why
was
on
so
earth
stupid.
on the first game of the season where you've got a team full of you've got a team with quality players, you've got Isak, we've spoken about Isak, Gordon, like, do you get me? Newcastle again, we've spoken about them, that they're a team that, you know, like they can really cause an impact in this league. Like, do you get me? Like, they stay fit, maybe sign a couple players, and yeah, they can really move up the table. And you start off the season by moving your head towards someone and you know what it is? You know what's annoying, bro? I was seeing people saying, it was soft. This has been the rule for ages. We know if you're squaring up to someone and you make a forward action, you're giving the ref an excuse to send you off. Why? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And yeah, I think from there, he was very fortunate that Newcastle were able to obviously get the goal and hang on, because Southampton, they had a lot of possession, a lot of the ball, but they weren't able to break them down. And yeah, I think Southampton will be ruining that a little bit, sorry, because yeah, like you would have hoped that with 10 men, they would have been able to capitalize. But yeah, man, like I don't know if you have any quick thoughts on that game.
Nah, man, I was devastated, man. Like after I captained Isak, and I expected Newcastle to.
I captained him as well, bro.
Hey, bro, that guy let me down, man. So I was especially hurt. But you know what? Thankfully, Isak is a bowler, and he was able to capitalize on the mistake and at least get me some points. Because he was trying to just ruin my FPL week completely. So he needs to actually have a long, hard look at himself over these free game ban. So it's so stupid.
Again, it's just why give the ref the excuse to like? There's so many, like you can square up to him. Like, do you get me? Like, there's so many things that you can do outside of what you did. Like, do you get me? And it's like like we've seen like these soft decisions. Like, do you get me? And I've seen this comment from Wendy that says, "Yeah, that was never a red. I'm so sorry." Like, I feel like we've seen these soft decisions like being given for a very long time, and I feel like we know that when you square up to someone and you move your head forward, you're giving the ref an opportunity to send you off. Like, we've seen like loads of red cards, like, and I just feel like, yeah, man, just don't do it. Like, do you get me? Because I feel like you're just leaving it in the hands of someone else. Like, do you get me? Like, if you just don't do it, then then the ref won't have an option to send them off. I don't know what you think, bro.
No, I echo what you're saying, man. Because I get what Wendy's saying. But ultimately,
I get it. Yeah,
it don't make sense. Because the way he touched his head, there was no reason for him to drop. But again, he I always get the expression kind of mixed up. Like he sold it and the referee bought it. Like it's not like it's like if you give him an opportunity, the guy goes down, the referee's always gonna give it away. It reminds me, I think it happened to what's his name? Darwin. I think during his first season at Liverpool as well, it was kind of similar situation where little head touch and the guy flies into the ground like he got hit by a shotgun. Man. When you do that, sometimes you give them an opportunity to send
footballers do that. You know footballers do that as well. You know they're gonna fall onto the ground. They're gonna be. Dumb. We've even seen footage of people rolling on the ground and little smiles, looking at the camera. Like, do you get me? Like, we know they're gonna sell it. They're gonna try their best to sell the foul. And I think, it's just one of them ones that if I'm a Newcastle fan, I'm just saying, just don't put yourself in the position. Just don't.
Yeah, it's ultimately dumb. And like you said, Newcastle had the quality to, again, I guess, hold it down and make sure they left with the 3 points. So fair play to them as well, man. Because, I think Southampton definitely have to be, it's definitely, because I think that's the kind of game they need to be taking advantage of, to at least be picking up points. So, they're 100% to that going forward. It doesn't give me much confidence in terms of their kind of likelihood in staying in this Prem when you have that long of the game against 10 men and you're unable to break them down and get a goal. Yeah. So
you concede as well.
Yeah, you concede, and even the way they conceded too was so cheap, where the keeper just again passed the ball to Isak. Isak squares it across, and Joelinton is there to put it away. And again, this is the kind of the issue sometimes against these promoted teams that it's very hard on them, but in the Prem, you make a mistake and you can get punished just that easily because the quality is so high. And I think that's always the issue sometimes, where you can play good for 9% of the game or 60% like Ipswich did. And then one lapse in judgment and these players will punish you. Like come back to front that quickly. So man, they definitely have a lot to learn and take away from it. But Southampton, they need to buckle up. Buckle up because it's gonna be much tougher games against 11 men throughout the season.
100%.
So good luck to them.
100%. And then moving on, I want to talk about Palace Brentford. Obviously, I think you referenced a certain referee decision. I think it's only right we start with that. Did you think it was a foul?
It was not a foul, man. It was so soft. It was so soft. I was like, bro, can you please at least wait a little bit so the goal goes, like we see what happens, and then VAR can at least save you from your mistake. But no, we're giving these same referees being trigger happy, more power to be less accountable for their mistakes. So I think he just it was trigger happy. He blew the whistle and he denied us from from a great goal because that free kick was ridiculous. Like, and so yeah, it was just disappointing. FPL aside, it was just a very good goal in it. So yeah, I think it was poor refereeing. I think he blew way too early. I think it was soft even in hindsight when we saw the replays. So yeah, that was kind of like my kind of initial thought on that. But yeah, what was your kind of take? I think the player I kind of wanted to kind of touch on a bit more in this segment, bro, is Gay. Because again, when you're under the scrutiny of teams, that's like putting in £65 million bids for you. Like now we're looking at you as are you a £65 million player? I don't know what your kind of thoughts on his kind of performance today was.
Yeah, I don't think he had the greatest game. Like, yeah, he didn't have the greatest game. I do think he's a good player, but yeah, today just wasn't the greatest. And yeah, maybe it's a thing where like he needs to like, get his match fitness up, or not even match fitness, sorry, because obviously he played in the Euros and yeah, but maybe just get, reaccustomed to playing in this Palace team. Or maybe it is also a thing of like him being a little bit unsettled because of everything, regarding the transfer rumors and etc. But yeah, like I think, yeah, Gay, great player, not a great game. Like, yeah, that's what I would say with that. Eze's free kick, absolutely brilliant. I completely agree with what Wendy's just said here. Refereeing in this country is a joke. That was never a foul. Like, yeah, it was never a foul. And hey, Wendy, I'm not gonna lie, Eze's a baller, but a lot of people had him in his team in their teams. I didn't. So, when they chalked it off, I was like, oh, it's unfortunate for him, but hey
I
man,
was fuming.
these guys can hold that. But yeah, I think brilliant free kick, like absolutely brilliant free kick. And not even just that, like this guy's a baller, man. He's so cold. Like I watch him play and I'm just like, he's so cold. And I think there was a couple times where I feel like he done it with some of his actions, like where he should have maybe released the ball. But yeah, he's a quality player. Like, and it's going to be interesting to see if he does go.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely now though. His release clause has expired. I think it expired on Friday. So now Palace don't want to sell. So I don't know. Yeah, I doubt he's leaving somewhere anymore.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't, that's going to be great for Palace because like he's super, super important for them. And yeah, oh, sorry, very quickly, Adam Morton.
Oh yeah. I told you, bro. Played my young player this season.
Yeah, he is so cold, man. Hey, I would happily take him at Old Trafford. Like this guy is so cold, man.
Yeah, but it's tough though because I do agree, but I think it's hard because you have Manu. I don't think he's also like a 6'6" where he.
But I don't. I think.
Oh, you played him as two kind of.
I think Manu plays higher up. Like, do you get me? I think I think Wharton like has the ability to play deeper. Like,
I think he's a deep line playmaker.
He can control a game. Like, do you get me? Yeah, like I think Mainu's more influential higher up the pitch. Like, do you get me? You want Mainu getting on the ball, beating players, like creating, like So yeah, but yeah, Wharton's a brilliant player.
Yeah,
like, do you get me? He's got so much potential. Like, and yeah, like I think he's only going to get better and better. But Brentford. Like, I think, yeah, man. Like,
they said no Tony, no problem.
Yeah, in Bremo.
Yeah, we have to talk about him. We have to talk about him a little bit, man.
I think we need to put respect on them because, like even when people talk a lot about Tony last season, when Tony obviously got banned, in Bremo was carrying until he then got injured, and then that's when Brentford struggled. Like I think a lot of people like they've kind of like rewritten what happened. Whereas it's like, oh, Tony got banned and then Brentford struggled. Like, no, Tony got banned and Bremer was playing great. And then, he got injured and Brentford, like, were struggling because of the injury problems that they had. But, yeah, like, in Bremer, like, he's
a bro. I'm actually shocked because I was even speaking earlier. Like, I was having a conversation with my boys. And I'm actually shocked that Newcastle haven't come in for him. Or even just like a team of that kind of caliber. High up in the Prem. Because as even a Tottenham, when they're going and spending money on Brennan Johnson, and Brem was right there. Like that's the kind. I think that's a player that you bring in that he actually improves your team. So, but he's a serious player, man. So I rate him very, very highly, very, very 100%. Highly, and had a very good game today as well. Like,
Yeah.
very good finish, and he was just dangerous. He was just dangerous. So fair play to him, man.
100%. Hey.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
But I think he's 7.5 though. Is the only issue with him. I think he's quite expensive FPL wise. Well,
Okay.
yeah, he's definitely someone to consider though. But yeah, his price is a bit on the pricey side this year.
I know for that change is going to be studying.
Oh
I'm gonna be studying
man.
that tonight.
Yeah,
But in Brentford mode, like quality player, man. Like quality player. But yeah, man, Brentford look like they're gonna be good. Oh, Unorthodox change just said 7.
Oh, 7. Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
7 mil.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
So
think,
No, go on, bro.
No, ignore me. I was my fault. I was just saying that I think FPL wise, a lot of people aren't really going from this year because he's probably not going to be on penalties. So I think again, quite expensive.
Okay.
Not guaranteed pens, but
okay.
I think that's like
cool.
factors.
Cool. But yeah. Like I think Brentford, like with him, with Wissa, like they'll be good, man. Like like I think they've got players who can make a difference. So like that's a really good result for them 2-1 on the first day of the season. So
I think Palace again, it was one of those games where I think neither team can be really too disappointed. Like I think they both kind of end the game thinking, again there'll be 2 solid teams in the Prem. I feel like. And it looks like Tony's probably on his way to, I'm guessing, Saudi, but it doesn't seem like he's going to get a move to any other big Prems. True. That's true as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Your section's coming, man. It's coming very quickly. But so very quickly, bro. Obviously, we know Tottenham have got Leicester tomorrow. And that's going to be a really interesting fixture. And we'll probably talk about that more on Thursday's episode, like quickly to cover that, like obviously once the match has been played. But Forest Bournemouth, obviously, I think we've spoken about Forest this season. We've spoken about Bournemouth as well. Bournemouth have lost Solanke, and then obviously we've got Forest there to, they're potentially going to be fighting to stay up. And like, what did you think of the result? What did you think of the game?
The Forest. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is definitely a game or two that I'm gonna need to rely on you. I think I kind of know like again I've seen the goals, but then I also I guess firstly too, man. Shout out to what's his name, Danilo. Like hopefully.
100%.
Yeah, hopefully he has like the injury doesn't keep up too long. Yeah. What did he break his ankle? Because I heard that it was crazy, like an 8-minute delay or something during the game.
Yeah,
like, I heard it was like a really bad injury. So I hope he's okay and that's not too bad. And I feel like again, I guess kind of like the things I kind of from what the little I've seen, Bournemouth definitely need to. We have someone for them, man. Like it's a guy called Eddie, and I feel like he can come in and do a very good job. And we're not even trying to ask for no crazy prices too, man.
What's not crazy, bro?
Half of the Solanke, man. You take that. We'll say that. So I think they need to come and talk to us. They definitely need a striker, and I think we have a proven striker available for them. So that's one of the kind of things I was thinking of with them. And I guess again, I'll probably say big up to Woods as well. Like again, just OG Premier League striker comes, does his job in it. Like done. Nothing pretty, just comes, he's there. Give him a chance in the box, he'll put it away. So fair play to him. But I don't know if you have any additional kind of stuff to add.
I think that they're both teams which, like, it's going to be, again, I've said this so much in this episode, but it's going to be interesting to see how they progress this season. Yeah, man. Obviously, like, I think, I'm going to have to get that on the t-shirt or something. It's going to be interesting to see. But I think, obviously, we've spoken about teams like Fulham and like Brentford, and just like you were looking at them and saying, they're going to be fine. I think Forest and Bournemouth, they're teams that potentially I think Bournemouth, actually, let me separate Forest and Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth, these last few weeks of the transfer window are going to be important because, like, if they can add some quality, that can really, really have a big effect on how they do this season. And I think Forest, they do have some players who can make an impact. You spoke about Chris Wood, he can get you a goal, Elanga. And I think they're just gonna try and I think they're going to need to this season like, I think firstly, like, convert their chances, because I think that's something that potentially, like, again, we've spoken about Chris Wood, but I think outside of that, even like Elanga, I think other players there, like, sometimes they are a bit wasteful. And I think, yeah, like, when you are towards that end of the table, you do need to be making sure that you're putting chances away. But yeah, overall, I think they're two teams that potentially, like, they might find it quite difficult this season. Like, yeah. And yeah, like, opening day of opening day of the season, like, I think, how do you think both of them will take that result? Like, what are you thinking?
Um, yeah, I'll probably say probably a bit. Again, I think Bournemouth should be safe in it, but I do think they definitely need to get a striker. I was gonna say
Mm-hmm.
is it a 6 point up, but I'd say Bournemouth should be safe. But if they don't spend that money properly, then maybe this might end up being a 6 point up towards the end of the season. So maybe it's a game that both teams would have definitely wanted to win. But again, the fact that you didn't give the 3 points to the other team, they both probably can't be too upset with the result. Where it's just you just kind of go on from here. It's probably going to be more winnable games for both going forward.
Yeah,
so that's kind of like my initial thought on that game.
Yeah, I think obviously, when you're winning 1-0, you always want to hang on. Like, do you get me? So I think potentially they might be disappointed in not being able to do that. But yeah, ultimately,
and shout out to Semenyo as well, man. That guy, he does his job.
yeah,
Like, he's actually a very key player for
100%,
them.
100%,
He really does his
100%.
job. So I have to give him his flowers. He's actually a good player.
Yeah, no, he is. He definitely is. I think last season as well, like, obviously a lot of the talk was about Solanke, but yeah, he definitely had a good season as well. And yeah, like, he's an influential player for them. But yeah, bro. Hey man, I think before we leave, of course, it's only right we talk about Fantasy Premier League for a little bit. So yeah, man. Hey, obviously, like, I think me and Ace have spoken, and like, we're working on ways on potentially like developing this segment and, you know, making it more interactive. I think obviously for the time being, like, we're just gonna have a conversation about it. But yeah, obviously the first game week, it's not quite over because obviously we've got Spurs and Leicester tomorrow. But yeah, man, like, I saw some interesting choices in your team. Like,
Oh,
some
really?
interesting choices. Like, you know, obviously, I know you're a big Arsenal supporter. I can see the we are the Arsenal in the background. I can see the Arsenal kit there. Obviously, you've spoken about how Arsenal are going to win the league. I know you tipped David Raya to be, you know, the keeper of the most clean sheets. And bro, there seems to be an absence of Arsenal players. So do you want to talk on that? Because
That
it's
is correct.
interesting.
That
Interesting.
is
What
very
was your thinking behind that?
You know what it is, yeah. I think again, probably my like I said, bro. Next week with Villa, I'm nervous, man, because again, it's a tough away fixture. And just in general, I bet that Arsenal have a very, very tough start to the season. Like, well, we have Villa next, and then I can't remember the game after Villa is. I think that's probably more of a winnable game, and then we have City and Tottenham back to back. So again, I was looking at it like, being logical, I'm not guaranteeing that we're never going to get clean sheets. I didn't go for Arsenal because I thought we might concede. Probably not this game. This wasn't the game I was really worried about. It's more about the next five that I'm more worried about the clean sheet kind of odds. And then going forward, probably the player that I really would have wanted would have been Saka.
Yeah, I was surprised that you didn't put Saka in.
Yeah, but then again, my logic, and it's still going to be the case until like I'm ready to take out Salah, but it was Salah or Saka because I couldn't afford both. So my thinking is that I love Saka, but I banked on Salah getting more points over this initial start to the season based on the fixtures that both teams have. So that's why ultimately it was a very tough choice. But I had to go about the Arsenal assets. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be bringing them in once our fixtures start to switch. So that was kind of like my kind of initial thoughts. And yeah, I guess kind of on the teams, I thought your team was very interesting as well, man. Look at this guy. On Over's change. He doesn't believe Arsenal can win.
They're coming for you, bro.
This guy don't even believe in his own team. Cool.
They're coming for you, bro.
That's cool. I know what I believe in it. Confirm, cool.
Bro, it was very questionable, bro.
No, I hear it. Bro,
I said, wait, no Arsenal players. Like, when Arsenal at the, you know, like, fighting for the league, great defense. Obviously, you've got Saka scoring, assisting. Yeah, it was very, very interesting decision because, you know, I know you spoke about the Saka or Salah. I put both of them in my team.
Yeah,
So
Salah, that's crazy.
yeah,
So fair
yeah.
play
Do
that
you
you
get me?
managed to find a way to do that.
But hey, man, hey, you got to
Fair
be
play.
creative, man. Because yeah, like I agree, Salah. Like, do you get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, he had to be in my team. Like, it was funny because I was looking at him and I was like, this guy's expensive, man. And I was just like, but he's Salah, man. Like, this
Yeah,
guy's
man.
he's a
Yeah,
GA machine. Like, you
I
get
know what
me?
I think the issue. What I learned from last season FPL wise too, man. Like, it's so much easier to have the money and then spend it and bring players in than not have it and then try to find the money. That was also the thinking where I'm like, I can always go from Salah to Saka at any moment, like rather than the other way around, which would be
The other way
more
around.
difficult.
Yeah.
Like then now you might be making 2 transfers to do that. So yeah, man. So yeah, you guys can run your jokes about Arsenal and my lack of belief, but yeah, for me, it was I think last year too, a big mistake I made FPL was, as much as I'm an Arsenal fan, I definitely also have to be logical in terms of what I actually think is going to happen over the fixtures. So I think we're probably going to concede a few goals over the next few games, and I think Salah will probably provide a bit more output based on his fixtures than Saka. So yeah, right now no Arsenal assets, but yeah, don't worry, bro. They'll be coming in as soon as I can get free Arsenal players in that team. They're coming in. Don't worry about that. So yeah, no, I agree. I agree that was. I was surprised in myself too that I didn't do that because usually I'd always have an Arsenal player in because I expect us to do well. But
yeah,
that was logic, bro. That was logic. And I guess looking at your team too, obviously the United bias too. I guess you have to put your boy Ahmad in the team, which is also quite surprising in terms of FPL wise. Where were you confident that he would get the numbers this season?
I felt like obviously at his price, 5 mil. I felt like obviously, I always like having a United player in my team. I thought at his price point, I thought 5 million. I was convinced that he was going to start against Fulham, which he did. And he's not guaranteed starts, but I felt like he was, like he is a minutes risk. But I thought like he was gonna, like get minutes. And like he was gonna be involved. So I thought, you know what, like it makes sense. And then, I think the other United player I had was Martinez.
That one was actually a shout. I didn't know he was that cheap. I didn't know he was only
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5, man. Like, you get me? Obviously, United got the clean sheet first game of the season. So, man, like, I think I was just trying to be creative with, like, the decisions. What?
No, I was going to say, we did transitional. Let's see.
Hey, man.
But to be fair, first season on the 10 now, you guys were good defensively.
So. What? De Gea got Golden Glove first season on the 10 Hag. So, man, like, it's going to be interesting to see. I've said that for the millionth time this stream. So, talking about Salah and Saka, I said, I think Salah was expensive, but like, needed him. Saka again, I think he was someone that I needed in the team. Haaland again, I saw some people went with no Haaland drafts. Do you get me? Me, I wasn't that brave.
Bro.
Do you know what I mean? I wasn't that brave. I wasn't that brave.
He was like, I can spend the money better. I said, bro, better make sure that your stock picks
I commend all of you who had the guts to do that. I commend all of you. But me, I wasn't that brave. Like, do you get me? Me, I looked at Haaland. I saw people were doing either Haaland or Salah. I looked at both of them. I said, no, they both have to come in my team.
I can't believe you actually got in Saka, Salah, and Haaland.
Yeah, bro, I was creative. Bro, I built a good team, bro. Like, I built a team where it's like, you know what? Like, I got I've got like a lot of key assets. Like, even my defense, Saliba's still there. Like, like I was able to be like, I think, quite creative. I think up front, obviously, Haaland, Isak, and then I've got Muniz, Fulham, like there as well. So man, like, and then I think I have Rodgers and Nkunku, who like Nkunku, that's going to be interesting to see because I know he came off and it's going to be interesting. I think you also have Nkunku as well, right?
He's looking like a banked player, and one game later looking at Chelsea, you're like, bro, I don't know if this is as banked as I thought it was. So it's gonna be interesting keeping an eye on him. What happens with that?
Yeah. Hey, you're now saying it, bro.
It's
gonna be.
Hey man,
we have to create a segment.
It's gonna be
interesting to see things that are gonna be interesting to see this week. And then you come with your list. Hey man, we're plotting, but man.
No, I guess kind of like a way to kind of round up the kind of FPL. I thought it might be good just to I guess show the league as it is right now. Just quickly flashed up on the screen. So right now, Vinny Vidi Vici has been almost top on 64 points. And obviously you're right there behind him on 63. Then Brian Kongzilla's 61, 2 for 2, which is interesting. He actually pulled away at the beginning. I was actually surprised looking at the table now. Like and then on Orthodox Change running off the top 4. So yeah, it's looking quite tight right now. But like we said, there's still another game to go, so it can still change a lot. So yeah, interesting to see. I think again ahead of probably like the next week's episode, I'll then try like actually have like a graphic that kind of just shows where the league is at going into the new FPL league, and then we just like any kind of interesting moves I see people make, I'll try to add to that to just kind of help the discussion. So yeah, and if you have any advice on how we can improve this segment, then please let us know. But that is again, I think like a good way to kind of bring full circle where FPL is right now, going into the first game week. So yeah, it should be a long journey, but interesting start so far. The people that Captain Salah pulled away, so it's looking a bit scary right now.
Yeah, Salah. You know what? Yeah, bro. Isak was a good captain choice. It was the sending off. Like, do you get me? Like, it's something. Sometimes there's nothing you could do. Like, do you get me? Salah's a great captain choice. Salah's reliable. Like, he's opening day of the season record. But I think Isak at home to Southampton.
You think it's banked?
Man. And obviously the sending off happens, and he still gets the assist. Like, do you get me? So yeah, man.
Could have been
like,
worse.
That's FPL. Yeah, it could have been worse, man. Could have been. Yeah, 4 points. So yeah, man. Yeah, do you get me? Instead of 4, it was 10. So yeah, man. But I think it's gonna be good because obviously now there's like a diverse array of players who potentially can get the captain's armband.
Yeah, and I think that's because everyone is obviously all watching the same YouTube videos and the same TikToks and the same. So teams are quite similar, but I think it's that it's gonna be the captaincy that's gonna really change where teams kind of finish game like week to week. You picking the right captain is gonna be essential. So yeah, it's definitely a interesting start, but it's gonna be a very competitive season. I can tell already. So let's see how it goes.
But yeah, man. Hey, so yeah, man. Oh, I ain't watching no YouTube vids.
Man.
Hey, if you want to see lies, do you get me? On a Sunday as well. It's horrible. But yeah, I know for that's changed. We know that's not true. Do you get me? We've seen the algorithm. We know what's happening. Do you get me? All the studying. Oh, look at. I made the strap, so of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. But yeah, man, I think overall it's gonna be interest. Oh damn.
Big mistakes.
Big mistakes. Damn. Wendy, who did you captain?
I think she captained Isak, but she was meant to.
But she thought it was Haaland. Unfortunate. Man. It's not that much of a
difference in Haaland.
Yeah. It wasn't that much of an L. It could have been worse. But yeah, man. I think that's the one thing, man. Like trying to remember, like, do you get me, to change your captain to think right now it's all right. When we start getting into the more busier period of the season, that's where it becomes really difficult, man.
I need this channel to keep me accountable. Because I got tired, honestly. Man.
Yeah, honestly.
I got tired. Games every 2 days. Players are getting injured. Players are suspended. Man, FPL can get a lot, man. You can get a lot. So it's a marathon, not a race. So we'll see everyone game week 38. See how it's shaping up. But it's been a good start so far. Look at this guy.
So they've already started. Hey, man.
All right, man.
Like Ace said, game week 38. We'll see what's happening, man. And whoever wins, I'll give them props. We'll give them props. So yeah, man. But it will be interesting to see. And hopefully we can develop the segment. And I think it will be just a fun thing to discuss as the season goes on, man. But yeah, man. Ace, is there any last words?
No, I guess as always, thank you to everyone who has joined, everyone who's left comments. If you watch this later, before, then please make sure to subscribe, leave a like. It helps out. It'll help us out a lot. That helps spread the video. And I think just again a big thank you as always. My kind of final words, bro. What about you?
Yeah, man, I echo that exactly. Obviously, yeah, this is still very new, and yeah, like it's great to see like people interacting, and thanks for all of the support, thanks for the comments, thanks for the likes, and yeah, like thanks for joining us just to hear us talk about football. Like again, it's always appreciated. We don't take it for granted at all. And yeah, man, like hopefully as the season goes on, like, do you get me? There's more things that we can introduce, like we can make it better, like we can develop the ideas that we have. And yeah, man, like continue to produce great content. And so yeah. Yeah. Also, I hope everyone has like a good week as well, man. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah. Like I know Mondays sometimes they can be annoying, but yeah, I hope everyone has a good week, like with whatever it is that you're doing.
Oh,
So, yeah.
oh yeah, no, never mind. I was about to. We'll talk about the, I guess, Tottenham Leicester match on the next episode, which will be
Yep.
Thursday next week. So
Yep.
please tune in if you're available. And yeah, so that's the plan
Mm-hmm.
about what happens in that game. Should be interesting.
Yeah, man. But yeah, all right, everyone. Hope you have a good night, and we'll see you on the next episode.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.